we're live.
Crikey, we're live. I can't believe it, Artie. We're back for another week, dredged up from beneath the mountains of Mordor, commonly known as London. Now, for another week of Artie and Fist. Artie and Fist, Artie and Fist. You can be sure that we're both on a list. Artie and Fist, Artie and Fist. Whatever we do, James Lindsay, you'll be pissed. We're still working on it, right? But, that's
a work in aren't we all? Always a work in progress.
Always a work in progress, mate. How you doing, Artie? Are you well? Are you fit? Are you full of piss and vinegar, mate?
Yeah. I mean, I was just screaming my head off just before this. There's so many things happening, and there's some harrowing things that we're going to cover. But the best reprieve in politics is James Lindsay.
Mate,
it's just the best. Cool. He's the cigarette after a hate fuck. That's what James Lindsay is.
He is the cipher, the skeleton key to understanding the current political moment. And one of the things that I just find so amazing about him, right? Like someone on the right should set up a GoFundMe for him, because with every single thing that he tries to do, he just affects, right unity better than anyone else, right? A couple of weeks ago, hardly anyone was talking about Carl Schmitt or the friend-enemy distinction. And now, James has basically single-handedly mainstreamed it. It's just,
I should cut him a check. I ethically, I owe him money at some point, because he'll say something, and then he has no argument against it. None of them have any argument against it. So then everyone just starts researching it, and everyone now, with an open mind, reads it as it's intended to be read, and then they all understand it better than he does.
Yeah, it's like that.
Fascinating.
There's some law, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, where the best way to find the correct answer to anything is to state it wrongly on the internet. And that's basically what Lindsay is doing 24/7, right? He comes out and, oh my God, I've been posting this just over and over. I'm like, James, you need to do undergrad political science, right? You need to go to university, right? I mean, I know universities are leftist hellholes, right? But you need to do a year or two of undergrad political science, right? You don't understand what any of these terms mean, right? It's like someone going around being oh, I just solved Gödel's theorem, or some other advanced mathematical concept, right? And then a bunch of math PhDs turn around and be like, no, you didn't. You're retarded. And then you go, I'm over the target, bros, right? Math PhDs, math. And everyone's just like, you're a fucking idiot though, right? It's a constant source of frustration.
He says things, and they say things that are so obviously criticizable. It's the pissing his pants meme, and then saying rent free.
Yeah.
And so one of them had a post that exploded, and then James Lindsay is like, heh, Matt Walsh just got me 1 million views on a fucking X post, and it's like, wow, pussy, you were on Joe Rogan last year, and now you're fucking trying to swing your little pecker about having a fucking post that gets 1 million views on it.
We got a first super chat from Bubblegum.
Ooh, a little quick fuck. All right.
I don't know what that
It's a
means.
post that's supposed to be clicked on or something?
Is that, well, it's not clickable. I don't understand what that means. It must be Mossad, right? They're in the chat, right? They're trying to upload Pegasus malware into our butts, right? So they can spy upon our colonoscopies or something. Thank you very much, Bubblegum Gun. If you want to just post in the chat, what is that meant to? Is that meant to be a post on YouTube, or I don't understand. No idea. Anyway, we got a bountiful episode for you.
But first,
this week,
I gotta shout out the hard R fellers.
Oh yeah, the hard R the hardest. We have the hardest R's, mate. Right?
We got Nick Nilsson, the Base Crusader 76, Lord Zero, JD Como, Undead Arachnid. I'll never know how to say that. Dongus Cuck, 69 your mom, Lack of Understanding, Fangtooth, Chuck Steak, Jake, Uncle Javi, OG Uncle Javi, Bobby B, Big, Nicky Boy, Diggerson. And then there's four newbies this week, I believe.
Hang on, wait. I got it. Yeah, we got oh mate, like look at all these like new hard fellas,
We got
right?
it's like numbers and letters. I'm assuming it's
It's
Mead of Odin.
Mead of Odin, mate, right? Look,
Nice.
the best mead, apart from the ones that the Christian monks make, obviously. But it's a pretty good second, the Mead of Odin.
And of course, that classic villain we all know as Jephistopheles.
Jephistopheles.
Dirk Diggles, and the Agile Walrus. Now, fellas, when you support the channel, okay, this money is reinvested almost immediately. Mr. Fist, do I take care of you?
You do.
I take care of you uniquely well?
Uniquely, like, oh mate, it's great. We're going in for a private island. We're cruising by in a 100-foot yacht. Just looking. I mean, there's so much choice, right? I want somewhere around Aruba. Artie's like really got his mindset on the Grand Canaries. It's a constant battle. But yes, he does. He takes care of me. It's nice. It's comfy. Yes.
So the channel has been growing faster than I was prepared for. And so once the channel started growing, I started doing memberships, started doing live streams. So I'm trying to expand this into multiple areas. I talked to Fist about doing debates. Instead of blood sports, I want to do mud sports where people on the right debate, shake hands after, nothing crazy, pass your disagreements. I got ideas, that's all I'm saying. Okay, fellas? And what you can do right now, YouTube noticed my account was growing very quickly, and they gave me a promotion where if you sign up for a $1 membership, they give me $13. It doesn't make any sense. My life's never made any sense. Why do you think I say the things that I do? So greatest way you can support me until the end of the month would be doing a $1 membership, which gives me $13 mysteriously and miraculously, and whatever else it is that you want to do. Once I upgrade my computer, I also want to do solo streams. I'll still need you, Fist. I'll still need you. Solo streams. I want to do editing streams so I can edit and stream at the same time, like AIU has done. A lot of ideas, all in good time. So all of your support is immediately reinvested back into the channel. Thank you very much, fellas.
Indeed. Thank you very much to all the hard fellas. We have the best fellas. Right. Shall we get into it? Shall we
get so much to get into, dude? We got
dive into the cesspool. We start tonight with the Beanie Baby himself, Mr. Dim Fool. Right, Tim Pool.
Well, so the reason why I wanted to play this, now this just came out yesterday. Me and Fist tried to set up what we're going to talk about on Wednesday. A video came out yesterday. A video came out today. It's like editing an episode of South Park. It's going right up until we go live. And so, we have some unreconciled feelings about Charlie Kirk of what to do next and the violence and the treatment of how Charlie Kirk has died and versus George Floyd. Two very distinctly different things. And I just want to listen to these fellas raise some very good points. Whatever you think about Tim Pool, whatever you think about Steven Crowder, they put more work in than virtually anybody in terms of combating insane, crazy lefties. So
I got to tell you, Artie, I'm certainly looking forward to the Charlie Kirk week where all the minorities get down on their knees and, thank all the white people for all the awesome stuff that they've done, right? Like that's going to happen, right? Yeah, like in any day now, right? Like
or if they put up any sort of statue or remembrance of Charlie Kirk, it's going to be defaced immediately. So
I will be perfectly happy with some modest reparations. Maybe like $1 million US dollars for every single white person, right? To acknowledge the harms done by the Hart-Celler Act and the Civil Rights Act. I think that's only fair. Really?
Well, I mean, they're not painting his face all over the street. They're just gonna try and make a simple holiday after it, but that's taking up too much ideological space. Sorry, but we'll dig into that a little bit later.
I mean, Charlie Kirk, he wasn't even queer, let alone black and trans, right? Like, queer. My God,
you're not even queer.
Not even queer. Right, let's get into it.
tough as a man. It's like you can't protect those around you from these animals. So the closest thing I can think of is a tone shift. I want the left to be scared. I want it to hurt when they try and hurt ours. I'm not even advocating political violence. I'm advocating for the first time conservatives to exercise their right to lawful violence. And we need to see this across the board because the systems, I mean...
You're advocating self-defense.
Oh my God. Hate speech, run for the hills. It's it's a genocide in the making, probably.
Well, this is perfect because I talked about this last week, where even if I had a gun, I'm like, when am I even allowed to use it? Remember that conversation?
Yeah, I do.
Like, people on the right they don't know when they can defend themselves because of the headache of litigation nowadays.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, it's going to be interesting because at some point, surely, there's going to be like another Daniel Perry incident, right? And then this whole machinery is going to like start up again, right? But this time, I presume the Trump administration would take an interest in it and try and stop these people getting completely screwed.
Whoa,
But,
why would the Trump administration do that? Are you saying they're setting up a dichotomy of two different groups right now, where one may get preferential treatment and the other one may get less preferential treatment based on their behavior and based on their party affiliation? Is that what you're saying?
It's true, Artie, that non-whites being held in any way accountable is definitely unfair and differential treatment, right? If just one white person defended themselves, and managed to get away, right, with the horror of defending themselves or another innocent person, what would that say about America, right? Like, it's a terrible, terrible state of affairs. Oh, Daniel Penny, not Daniel Perry. Thank you very much, Turtle Blackout Painting. Yeah.
Yeah, but we haven't been doing it.
I know.
That's the thing.
I watched these videos where conservatives get punched in that. When Andy No was being mercilessly beaten, he didn't fight back. He just kept going as they beat him and beat him. The beatings won't stop until you defend yourself, and that is why we are legally allowed to defend ourselves, to stop them from injuring us, from hurting us. And I think the sad reality is conservatives just kept turning the other cheek.
Yeah,
they didn't want the escalation. And you know what's fascinating too is the really great, the horrifying example is the Proud Boys in New York. When the far left was attacking patrons of this speaking event with Gavin McInnes, Proud Boys came out. Antifa was taunting and throwing things. The Proud Boys engaged them. A fight broke out. I'd call that mutual combat, although to be fair, Antifa went to their event and instigated it. But fine, let's call it.
Pause it. I sent you this. Shit. So when he's talking about the Proud Boys, there was a man named John Kinsman. Now, it sounds bad that the Proud Boys got prosecuted for engaging in mutual combat. That right there sounds unfair. Now, what's even worse, if I can just pull this up. So I'm going to give you this right here to put up on screen.
Okay.
Is how the media tends to collude with each other to make him seem a certain way. Okay.
Hang on. I'm getting
now. I don't know if you know this. Now, the Proud Boys are known as being very racist, right? They're white supremacists, multiracial white supremacy. And so the Proud Boy that got arrested literally has, they have black wives and black kids. And it says Proud Boys members have or had black wives. Some black people might marry Klan members or their children to become closer to whiteness. Okay?
Racist confirmed, right? So
you're
married a black woman. Racist confirmed.
There's the definition of a word is its application in society. Racism doesn't exist. It's just meant to say fuck white people. That's why black people don't give a shit when other non-white groups say it, because it's just fuck white people. And if you want to play the next link I sent you. So on top of this, we have the racial antagonization. This is why you have to be right-wing, fellas. Racism doesn't exist. Anti-Semitism doesn't exist. It's just meant to dismiss you. You're never not going to be anti-Semitic. Huh?
Hang on, I gotta go to archive.
Oh yeah, it's fine.
Yes, because it's like, oh, this content is not available
Right.
in your region, because it's gay, right? Like
It's
and-
only going to be used to suppress you. You could be a white man with a black wife and black kids, and you're going to go to prison for 4 years in Rikers Island, and you can't see your fucking kids because they're going to make you seem racist and just ignore.
Yeah, well,
the
you
fact
shouldn't.
that you
You
have a
shouldn't
black wife.
have been a fucking racist then, should ya? Right? It's very, very simple. Look, this is all like a calculated tactic, right? No other ideological group must be allowed to have street muscle, right? In the same way that the state tries to have a monopoly on violence, the communists want a monopoly on street muscle, right? And when the Proud Boys came about as an opposing street muscle movement, right, they had to be destroyed, just by definition, right? The left are the only group that are allowed to have street muscle.
Are you able to pull up that picture?
Fuck, it's taken a while to load. I can't access it because I'm in Europe and Europe is gay. So
what is going?
Yeah.
Anyway, so what I'm
Yeah.
trying to. I mean, I could just go for it. What if I just show you my little tab? I'll do that.
oh yeah, okay.
The point I'm trying to make is there's a reason why people don't want to defend themselves. And it's because of reasons like this. This white supremacist, anti-black guy, no matter what you do, it will not be good enough. Look at the picture they took of him.
No, wait, you have to scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, I know. Look at the picture they took of him.
You can't see it. You got to scroll down.
Look at the picture they took of him. They made him look like a Nazi, and he didn't get to see his black children for 4 years because
crikey.
of this.
We got a super chat from Big Chris. Oh, mate, look at him striding in. Big Chris, $2. The owners of the media totally have normal noses. And they have the most normal noses. That's absolutely true. I don't know what you're implying, mate. All right. Okay, let's get back to
All right, so I really wanted to hammer that point home because it's not discussed enough. I was in the Proud Boys when that happened. It's absolutely a horrific thing that they do. One of many things that they do. And we'll see if there's any difference in the treatment of George Floyd versus Charlie Kirk's death.
Oh, completely the same, right? If there's one thing you can say about America, right? It's that absolutely, and I learned this from James Lindsay, actually, right? Under no circumstances should whites organize in their interest at all, right? Even if those interests are mild and, they just want some kind of equality of treatment, right? Yeah. Very, very, very bad, right? Because what happens immediately after whites get equal treatment under the law? Hitler, right? That's what happens.
There's
right?
no step two.
There's no step two. And
three.
the only way that we can ensure, right, that we do not get another Hitler, right, is for whites to continually have less legal rights than everybody else. Okay, I just don't want to. I don't want to hear about it, right?
Self-flagellation, licking black people's shoes, all things you can do to make the world better.
That's right. Exactly.
Mutual. When the police showed up, the Proud Boys, with smiles on their faces, thanked the police and gave all their information over, and Antifa said, F the police, and ran. And then, with the information on the Proud Boys, the city government said, lock them up, and they got 4 years in prison, despite being the ones aggressed upon.
Well, I'm sure, after that experience, right, the Proud Boys will be happy to cooperate with the police in the future. Do they not see how just insanely damaging this is to society, right? This kind of partial treatment.
Yeah, this is conservatives have largely been avoiding this because we know that if you try to defend yourself, the law was coming for you. They would lock you up and let Antifa go. Now, Trump is saying Antifa is a terror organization, and we're not playing that game anymore, and they're crying about it.
Absolutely. And let me send this message to everyone out there. Look, Kyle Rittenhouse shouldn't have been treated with anything other than good shooting and a pat in the back from the judge. The guy had already shot at him and was aiming a gun at him, and he shot his bicep in a John Wick move. Okay, this is what you're talking about. The Proud Boys, right there. Exactly. These people, Daniel Penny, they shouldn't be alone. And like you said, the law will be against you. But hey, to everyone listening right now, again, lawfully defending yourself, understand this: they can't catch you all. They can't arrest you all. They can't prosecute you all because people have woken up right now. They know the enemy that we are facing. It is within. And if they see the selective prosecution, people are going to know. That's what the left has used, right? They falsely claim victim. Conservatives have.
Look, to be fair, right? People have been seeing this for like quite a while.
Right.
I don't know, like why Stephen is like, oh, you know, they suddenly see. Yeah, we've been seeing it, mate. Right? Like
nobody wants to be a martyr. That's the issue. You know.
Well,
what I'm saying?
I think possibly the problem as well is that with sort of like the total control of the media space that existed until Musk took over X, there wasn't really even the option of being a martyr because you'd just be buried. You know what I mean, right? Like, you know, you just like, you know, because remember, after a few of these events, fundraising platforms that tried to like raise fund for these people's legal defenses got shut down. Their bank accounts got nuked. Like it was just total dominance, right? So no wonder fucking like everyone was scared. But I'm pretty sure like the zeitgeist has shifted now. Holy crap! We got another super chat. Solon the Lich, mate. I'm dead cock. Fucking oh mate, I have heard tales, right? Apparently his cock can like actually resurrect itself. Amazing. For ARS 100, I don't know what ARS is. That like a Argentinian peso? Anyway, thank you very much.
You're the European. You're supposed to be educating me right now. You're doing a very bad job.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's European. I think it might be South American. I'm not sure. Anyway, white supremacists have finally decided to save the white race the way that the conquistadors did, teaching them tribals to say, yes, daddy.
I mean, that's what's the result been?
Whited.com.
Argentine peso. That's Argentina, I believe.
ARS? I don't know, mate. I don't know.
I think it is. I'm just going to start saying it is.
Oh, well, there you go. That's all. Oh, we got a listener in Argentina. Hola de taco Argentina. my grasp in Spanish.
You got
like
Spain right next door, and you can't learn the language, huh?
Yeah, but no one goes there unless it's like to the beaches, and then no one speaks like Spanish. So
no one goes there unless they want to sleep during the day.
Yeah, or get really really bad like construction work done, basically, right?
And we had David Slitherthorn saying, "Welcome to the soft A, fellas. Welcome, fellas. God damn.
Welcome, guys." It's by the way, just thank you everyone for like showing up. It means a lot. It's great to see like everyone. Like it's awesome. Okay, right. Let's go back to Tim and Stephen. I'll use the familiar terms. It's of course Artie and I are on speaking terms with both of these giants in the media. Tim calls me every day. Actually, as a matter of fact, I was actually the one that recommended that he should start wearing the beanie to cover his baldy head. I was like, look, Tim, just don't worry about it, man. Like, just rock the beanie. It'll be good. And he was like, Newsfist, thank you for that incredible advice. And he went on to be a massive success. So that's great. I'm very humble about it, obviously.
And then I explicitly made sure Steven Crowder knew to keep his socks on and smoke a cigar while chewing out his pregnant wife's ass about feeding the dog. So we both give different advice to different people, and the success of that varies. Okay,
I mean,
it's not guaranteed to work.
I mean, we might not get the recognition that we deserve, but that's fine. You know what I mean, right? We're just happy for their success. You know what I mean?
Actually been the victim of institutionalized discrimination. Charlie Kirk sat down and had conversations with people, and they have conceded the war of ideas, the left, because they can't win, so they took his life. They took his life anyway. Now, let me ask you this. Anyone watching, anyone listening, what views do you hold that you think might be to the right of Charlie Kirk? If you vote Republican, there's a good chance.
I might have one or two. I mean, I wouldn't want to, maybe a couple. I don't know.
Well, guys, let me just raise the idea of, I don't know, putting them back in chains. It varies.
Bro. I mean, it turns out that the lease on that farm equipment was like really, really much more expensive than previously advertised.
A few of them. What do you think they'd do to you if given the chance?
How about this? They say Charlie Kirk is far right. I argue he's a moderate. You know why? Because publicly, privately, overtly, he said gay people should be welcome in their movement.
Correct.
And he's got viral
He did say
videos
that.
where a young gay conservative is talking to him on the microphone, and Charlie says, "You don't need to describe yourself as gay. That's not who you are. You're a conservative. I hope that you come to Christ." That's what Charlie Kirk said to him. Imagine 15 years ago that the Republican Party was not there. They're claiming Charlie Kirk is far right. I argue that Charlie Kirk was moderate. And so what does that mean for everybody who actually is staunchly conservative? Is they've actually killed Charlie Kirk. And now I have extreme fear of death from the left, not just because of what I witnessed, but because they are posting online a list of names with you and me on them saying we should be next and saying go kill them.
Man, to be fair, right?
Yeah.
Imagine being in Tim or Steven's shoes at the moment, right?
Yeah.
Like fucking, I mean, seriously, right? Like you know, man, you see like someone basically, right, in this very small group of like top tier political like podcasters and sort of like, you know, talky people just get fucking like mercilessly gunned down. All these lefties
In front
just
of his
being like,
fucking kids.
oh, dude,
and
don't
his
remind
wife.
me. Oh God,
Remember it. Play it back in your brain right now. And so even killing them, not in that way, wouldn't be as bad. The way that they would have to, it would be a worse death for either of them. Would have to be so egregious. I probably can't even mention it on fucking YouTube.
Yeah,
So
and
over the top
besides,
that
like,
way.
none of them have kids, right? Because they're all,
No, they both have
you
kids.
know, no. I mean the
Oh,
lefties,
sorry, yeah.
right? You know, because they're all genetic dead end, right?
They don't
So-
need kids. They have your kids to indoctrinate.
Oh God, oh. Yeah. I mean,
It's
mate.
the devil. It's Satan. I'm an atheist. Also, I had some right-wing atheists in the comments section that also, on the Charlie Kirk video, said some heartfelt things to the ortho bros. So I am bridging the gap on the right wing with atheists and with Christians. I am going for the world's biggest tent in human history for the right wing because I've tried it all, baby. Not in the ass. Outside of that, I've tried all of it, and it doesn't work.
You're basically like the right wing liaison. Well, I mean, we both are really, you know, right? Like,
Right.
you know, I guess, right? Like we are the right wing whisperers, right? Come
You're
into the tent.
You're the
come into the
UK.
tent.
How fucking right wing can you really be? Okay.
Well, like you just don't say it too loudly, right? You know, you just gotta look. Freedom of speech. Just watch your fucking mouth. All right. You know, like, we have a long tradition of freedom of speech in the UK. Just watch your fucking mouth. All right. You know, you wouldn't want to have like fucking officer friendly like show up to your fucking door at 4 a.m. and kick your door in and drag you off for a fucking like, you know, naughty tweet or something, right? Like, you know,
act so friendly, don't they? Where you're causing what did they say to you guys? You're causing distress.
anxiety. It's like anxiety or distress. There's some like it's like literally the vaguest term. It's like distress, anxiety, or harm or something like that. Like,
I don't know your political system, what the different groups are, but isn't that what a fucking faggot acts like?
oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right.
It's basically fags and women, and Fabians and you know, Les Sombrero,
Fagbians.
Yeah, right. Like it's like if you look at the current UK government, they are all of the guys in it are gay. Like I shit you not, right? Like to find a hetero in the current UK government is like very unusual, right? Like
That's
all
how
the
they
guys
do
are
it.
fags.
That's how they
You
do
know?
it. And Charlie Kirk, bless your heart, but duplicitous gays, okay? This is why we're a little like, with the gays, all right? The same thing with the commies under McCarthy era.
Hysterical women and manipulative gays, basically,
It's
right?
the
And you know,
female-
and
what is it
and-
about liking dick that makes a human this way?
well, I don't know. There's also a massive overrepresentation of a certain ethnic group. I can't remember which one it is, but I'm sure it'll probably slip my mind. Yeah, it's crazy. Like they're just all okay. So I was like reading this thing on Marx the other day, right, about the Mooish question, right?
Yeah.
And Marx was basically having this argument with this other guy, Bauer, right? About how the entire German economy had become, the whole of German society had become muified, right? That's his words, not mine, right? Now, Bauer was of the opinion that the way to like stop this is for all of the moves to become like secular, right?
Yeah.
Marx's basic like thing is like, oh no, we shouldn't do that. We should abolish all money, right? And this sort of like summarizes this entire view, right? It's like the way to solve any problem is to completely reform society. It's like saying it's like saying you've got like a bit of an addiction to like porn, right? And the way to solve it is to like kill all women or to like, you know, put everybody in a burqa or something. It's like, you know, no personal responsibility like whatsoever, right? Everything else has to change. It's, you know, right? Like you can't tell people to like buck up and maybe like not, you know, stop being so fucking sensitive. Oh no, you have to control everybody else's speech. I hate it.
I can imagine Karl Marx just smoking cigarettes, just drinking to himself by candlelight, and just going, I know these people. All right, my grandparents are these people. I've been surrounded by these people. We have to just destroy money. They're not going to stop. We just have to fucking destroy all money, and he's kind of right. Like, if you're trying to solve that problem non-violently, you're like, what's the thing they like most, and destroy it. Money, poof, and that's how he came up with it. And that's the story of communism.
Basically, yeah.
I can only make one assumption, and I have the legal right to do so. If I fear for my life, I will use whatever power I have to defend myself. If you are going to inflict great bodily harm or death upon me or the people around me, I have a legal right to self-defense. And they have made sure with this killing that we all feel that any step they make towards us with violence is a risk of death. And now I don't want anyone to die. I don't want anyone to get hurt. I oppose the death penalty. I want people to live peacefully and comfortably, but I am not going to sit back and let you just shoot me or kill me. So my eyes, I am.
Tim, that's very unfair.
I know.
Like, come on,
Tim,
come on.
I feel pathetic the way that they're talking about it.
Oh, I know.
Because of what the left is allowed to do, and then he's saying like the most milquetoast defense. Like, if I feel neutered when I listen to it.
I got to wonder at this point, right? Like, how long? Like, what would it actually take for the right to actually go on the offensive, right? You know, everyone's
power,
like,
institutional power. Because right now we don't have the power to enforce the existing laws. Now, me and you may have a disagreement on what system should be in charge of society, and we will get to that later, hopefully. But I want to at least start with, my argument is we already have laws in the books that we can enforce that we're not enforcing, and we need power to enforce them. And it's force doctrine. This is why I like listening to Andrew Wilson. It's force doctrine. It comes down to force, it comes down to power. That's what we need.
Not political power. Ooh, political power. Ooh. Don't give the right any political power.
Halloween came a month early this year. Woo!
They might do something. Woo!
That's what it's like.
Staying vigilant. I am getting my security guards, and I'll keep it real simple. You know what? I'm going to say this, Stephen. I will never even defend myself. I want you to hear that. You know why? My armed guards with AR-15s will do it for me.
Oh, that's really nice. I should get me some armed guards, right? How about you, Artie? You got some armed guards lying around, right? You can like donate some, maybe.
I wanted to include this because of how tone deaf it is. This is equally as tone deaf when Stephen Colbert was talking about like, hey, if we got to pay an extra $1 a gallon for gas, it's for a good cause. It's for Ukraine, and I don't give a shit because I have a Tesla, and fuck you guys. And the crowd was like, what? I feel like this is the same thing that happened right now with
like, seriously, why are you poor, right? Just go to your second house in the Hamptons, mate. Right? Like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Who are around me and watching to make sure if you try to step forward and risk the life of me and my family, they will use all legal means to stop the threat before you can hurt other people. I'll say one last thing. I've got advice for these leftists, for these liberals, and I hope they take it. Hear me. I want you to go to Walmart.
Listen here,
buy
Buster.
a nice little cheap folding table.
Yeah, listen here, bucko.
You listen to me and you listen good. I've had enough friggin' I've had enough of this friggin' mess. I'll say it. I've had enough of this friggin' mess.
I've had enough of this malarkey.
And some big white poster board and write on it, Trump is a fascist, change my mind, and go sit down at a university and tape it there and have a peaceful conversation with that. That'll show those conservatives, challenge them to a debate and their ideas, change their minds, and you will win the political debate. But for the most part, they have tried wearing masks.
Yep.
This needs to be mainstream reinforced. This rhetoric where Steven Crowder went to do it, Charlie Kirk went to do it, where you go out and you sit down and have a conversation. No one on the left does that. Only Destiny has done that. And you want to know who he brought on board? A fucking communist from that event. That's who he brought on board from doing that. He talked to a communist, probably fucked her, and then essentially platformed her straight ahead. So this, I don't know who was in their PR department, but it's like, what was Charlie Kirk doing? Having these public discussions. What does the left not do? Have these public discussions. Like in the most normie sense, they really need to be reinforcing that over and over and over again. Say whatever you want about them, but why don't the left do that at conservative colleges and whatnot? Why don't they ever do that? I want to see way more of that. That was a good point, I think.
Because talking with fascists is like accepting their ideas, right? Like, why are you talking with the fash, right? When you should be punching them, bro. You know, that's basically their opinion.
Masks, beating people, threatening people. You know what? That doesn't fly. Try the change my mind approach, and I, with a smile on my face, will say, appreciate it.
There are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
I saw the video before they even put out the confirmation. There was
What the fuck even is that?
Chance that he made it through that. This wasn't the one we were hoping for, but a welcome surprise nonetheless.
I'm surprised that y'all didn't get rid of him sooner. And I'm surprised that you guys aren't getting rid of more people. Like, don't stop with him. Don't let him be the end dog. Get rid of them all. His wife deserves to go too.
Pause it.
Talk about his wife and kids.
His wife and kids. Pause it. So this is where we could show that clip if you wanted to.
Which clip?
From the documentary of how long the left has had this kill white babies, stop them from procreating. You know, that classic clip. But it's the fact that they can show their faces to say this when you can't even show your face to make a joke, to be silly, to say something way less extreme. This is the double standard people are tired of. And people are waking up to it, at the very least.
Yeah, so we're probably going to talk about the Weather Underground a bit more later in the episode, right? But I just want to. I came across this clip, and I just want to drive this home to people, right? None of this shit is new, right? A lot of people, including myself, right, were introduced to this whole, more white supremacy like stuff, through like Robin DiAngelo and all that kind of other stuff. None of this is new. Look at this unadulterated shit.
I remember going to the last above ground weather. It was the Weatherman or the Weather Underground, the last above ground convention, and sitting in a room. And the question that was debated was it or was it not the duty of every good revolutionary to kill all newborn white babies? And at that point, it seemed like a relevant framing of an issue. The logic being, hey, look, through no fault of their own, these white kids are going to grow up to be part of an oppressive racial establishment internationally. And so really, your duty is to kill newborn white babies. And I remember one guy kind of tentatively and apologetically suggesting that seemed like it may be contradictory to the larger humanitarian aims of the movement and being kind of booed down. I remember going to the last...
So I just noticed how Tim Pool had to talk about defending himself from violence and how this white guy, like, white people are very cocked. And it's been that way for way too long.
God, fuck these people. Honestly, fuck you, entirely, right? Like, with a planet-sized asteroid. Like, what the fuck? Oh, God. oh, we're just, right? Imagine saying this about any other ethnic group. Imagine if the positions were reversed, bro.
But dude, it's been like this for generations.
Yeah, it has.
This is what I want people to know.
Okay. We going back to the the retards?
Yeah, we gotta hear shoe0nHead. The left, though, mind you, shoe0nHead, I think we would consider the moderate left, but we'll see. If anybody wants to say who the moderate left is in the chat, that'd be great.
Oh yes, please. Who is the moderate left at this point?
Bringing on that mentality and that lineage, like, get rid of the whole family. I'm so sorry. Why did you guys stop with him?
There were thousands of videos like that. Some of these people posting with their full names and faces, with hundreds and thousands of likes. Thousands of tweets celebrating it, with 500,000 likes. And it's important to remember that all of those likes are a real person. Millions of people in this country apparently believe the acceptable response to speech they don't like is murder. This wasn't just a bunch of fringe blue hair SJWs or whatever. They were teachers, professors, doctors, HR workers, healthcare workers, nurses, pediatricians, people who work with kids, people's classmates, roommates. They are teachers showing our children the gory, horrifying video of Charlie's murder on repeat. The hippy-dippy "in this house we believe" shitlib mask was ripped off, and underneath was nothing but psychopathic bloodlust. I have seen people on the right celebrate the death of people they disagree with. I've seen it. I remember Heather Heyer in 2017. But I also remember the whole internet, left and right, coming together to disavow and mock the few dozen people from Stormfront who were celebrating her death. This is different. It's never been like this before. It's never been this much. It's never been this brazen. Normal people have to log into like an alternate Twitter account where they can post their more unorthodox opinions. And these people are out here, full face, full name, like, hell yeah, murder. What? The smug, unearned confidence these people...
Wait, hang on. We've got a super chat.
Ooh.
$5 Canadian from Ardent Party. Oh,
He be the Ardent Party.
He be the Ardent Party. He sail the ship of fucks. Many people try to get on to ye ship. Thanks very much, Ardent. Genders, MF, M/F/demon. Have you not noticed how those who identify as neither of the first two end up looking like the third? And I stream tonight. Yes, Ardent streams after us. Send us your stream link. Ardent will post it in the chat for you, brah. It's a good time. He's a good lad.
People have to be openly sociopathic with their full name and face because they live under the pathetic delusion of being on the right side of history needs to end. They will blame you for your death because words are violence. Words are violence, so them killing you is just self-defense. That's why they're using Kyle Rittenhouse as some kind of gotcha. Oh, if you don't condone political violence, why do you support Kyle Rittenhouse? They fundamentally don't see the difference between killing someone over speech and killing someone over self-defense, because these are the same things to them. Also, I'm going to be the one to point it out, because of course I am. I saw nobody else do it. Why are most of them women? Most of the people celebrating are women. Like, it's a good, like, 80-20 ratio all over the internet. What is going on, ladies?
Okay, because it's a very effeminate, estrogenic behavior, okay?
Yep. And this is why when women lead societies, stuff goes wrong. We've got a super chat from We Is President Now. That's a pretty fucking good name, right? For $2, piss is stored in the balls. It is indeed. It is indeed. Many people are not aware of that. Thank you very, very much. We Is President. And $5, crikey, from lack of understanding. Love it. She realized she's swimming in evil and chose to stay swimming in evil.
Excellent point. Excellent point. I want to expound upon that. So this is the conclusion that I had come to, where I'm like, now I believe in these things on the left, whatever it fucking was. And then I was like, wait a minute. All of the people on the left are pieces of shit. So these things sound nice on the left, but you realize they were made by pieces of shit. If these things were such good ideas, wouldn't there be these great stewards of these ideas? And then I realized over time that, like, yeah, these are bad people. Like, how could such bad people, Shoe, have such good ideas for society. Like, it sounds good and everything, but like at the same time, I don't know if she's had to like really be integrated into these things that she's advocating for. I don't know. I don't know too much about her history. But like, yeah, isn't that strange? All of these, hey, those evil people that want people to die agree with you politically. Like, isn't there some sort of discord? Like,
you know what's kind of interesting
there? Yeah.
You know what's kind of interesting, man, right? Like, I think that we are basically, well, not exactly speed running, right? But reliving the 1960s, 1970s, okay, right? The parallels are many. And in the sort of middle to late, basically in the 1960s, you had the rise of this movement called the New Left, right? And, you know, there were a bunch of like quite heavy hitting lefty intellectuals. I mean, you know, they were fucktards, right? You know, Marcuse, Adorno, you know, with these sort
That's
of
a whole stream. That's a whole stream.
That is a whole stream.
And
right?
fellas, let us know if you'd want us to do that stream, because I don't give a shit, but Fist over here is getting hard thinking about it.
Yeah, no, it would be a good stream. But my point is this, okay, right? Where are these like intellectuals of the new left, right? Like what? Robin DiAngelo, right? Hardly an intellectual, right? Like it's like they're just degenerating in real time. Like every single time they come back, right? Their arguments degrade even further. Like it was always basically about violence, right? But they would, you know, pretty it up and be like, oh.
I think you cut out, but you're saying to pretty it up. But I do agree with what you're saying in terms of they tried to start off by attacking capitalism. Then they were like, okay, let's do race antagonization since everybody seems to be taken care of financially. And then since everyone seems to be taken care of financially, and then down to racism, they're like, okay, we tried turning race into capitalism. Whiteness is capitalism. Shit, I guess we'll try it out with the gays and queer. And then through queer, which is like the 60s, then queer just became not normal. They're like, okay, let's just be different. Normal is now capitalism is just normal. So we'll just be as non-normal as humanly possible. Then from what I know, like in the 80s, they bombed some federal buildings. They bombed the Capitol building, which the left seems to love the Capitol building so much. And that was Susan Rosenberg. And then, so they had some violence in the 80s. The 70s and 80s, they were probably the most violent in American history. But it seemed to, and then Bill Clinton commuted her sentence. Susan Rosenberg, the one of the people helping bombing the what was it? Mayday? The Mayday Communist Organization or something like that. Of course, a Democrat bails her out. Not bails her out, but in like 1993, his last day in office, gets her out of jail. She joins 1,000 Currents, Black Lives Matter funding organization, blah, 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 blah. It's the Democrats are just crawling with them. So I say that there's no moderate left because I am not seeing it. There's people like Shoe that are, I guess, quote unquote, moderate left, but they're not in any position of power. And then there's people like Destiny, who was like the only one that was actually debating people. And even though, you know, he's a sex pest and whatnot, he's moderate left. He's a liberal. He's not a socialist or a communist. He's like a progressive. But then even with Destiny, now he has like the most incendiary rhetoric possible. So, oh my God. I'm alone up here right now. All right, hold on. Cubics 85 for $5 Canadian, mate. I put up a post about Charlie and got some how dare you DMs from my sister-in-law. She weighs 500 pounds. Love the show. Dude, my mom literally brought up Charlie Kirk and then did the shouldn't have died, but, and I was like, and then she started to be like, you know, some of his opinions. I'm like what opinions? Why are we saying but? You didn't do this with George Floyd. Why the but? And then she makes up whatever she heard. And then I go to debunk it and she goes, oh, never mind. Like,
am I back, by the way?
Yeah. She has to feel this way about Charlie Kirk is the most pernicious part about it. And it's my own poor mother's brain. We have Kilted Heathen for 10 fucking US dollars.
$10. Oh my God, mate.
Oh, they're crispier than ever. Pick her, maybe. You guys,
Man, I
yes,
tell you, if Destiny was as
little
cute
bit.
as Shoe0nHead, I think more people would listen to him. Honestly.
I'll allow for some mild gooning and cooming within reason.
As long as it's mild.
I want to be respectable. Also, you can go and Google her nudes and see them right now if you want to.
Yeah, they are pretty nice. Not that I would know, obviously, right? You know.
I know that they are. She shows her pussy.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway,
Right.
I held the fort for as long as I could.
Yeah, I don't know. My mic just, I don't know, like computer just suddenly decides that it's going to like switch my mic off. I love it when it does that. Right. So we're now on to Sandy Occasional Cortex,
Right.
you know, as we like to call her.
Still,
you know,
especially after the after Jimmy Kimmel got fired, no one on the left can just say he shouldn't have died. We have to dial it. You know, there's an issue on the left. It has to be completely ignored. It has to be Charlie died, but, and it's like, I'm gonna kick your butt. What are you gonna say? We didn't have any of this with George Floyd. It's driving me crazy. So let's
but Artie, look, George Floyd, right, was like a fentanyl addicted home invader, right, who was also black, right? So you got to understand, you can't sort of make a moral comparison, right?
Everything you said is objectively true. So everything you just said about him is objectively true.
Oh, I know.
Continue.
I know, right?
Continue.
So you can't compare, right, the tragedy of a shitbag like George Floyd dying from a fentanyl overdose, right? You know, who probably like literally never did anything else in his useless life. Did you ever watch the George Floyd porno, by the way?
Which one?
Well, there was more than one?
I don't know. I haven't seen.
Right. No. So, okay. So George Floyd was actually in a porno, right?
Did you watch him fuck?
I did, right?
1 out of 10. How was his performance?
Oh, a 2 or 3, right? One of the interesting things about it, right, is this film was like filmed like about 3 or 4 years before he died. And even then, right, the way, like, you can hear him like breathing and wheezing like a goddamn freight train, right? He's like in this seedy hotel room, like, you know, screwing this like
Can you imagine if they showed that porn at the trial to like show how his breathing was under,
and he's like,
duress? Andy had COVID. Andy had COVID. Andy was on drugs.
Yep. So my point is, it is very clear that he had quite serious respiratory problems, like years before, you know, the incident, right? And what I'm getting at, right, Artie, is that you can't make a moral comparison between him and someone like Charlie Kirk. I mean, what did Charlie Kirk ever do with his life, right? Apart from get married, have 2 beautiful children, right? Like,
Christian,
you know, raise this entire organization,
Christian.
You know? I mean, come on, right? Like, Floyd is clearly the superior moral specimen, right? Fucking hate this shit so much. Right. So we
can spot a difference between her rhetoric between Charlie Kirk now, and then we'll go through some things she said about George Floyd and see if people should go into a murderous rage or not, possibly.
Okay.
Resolution only underscores the majority's recklessness by choosing to author this condemnation and honoring on a purely partisan basis, instead of uniting Congress in this tragedy with one of the many bipartisan options to condemn political violence and Kirk's murder, as we did with the late Melissa Hortman. Instead, the majority proceeded with a resolution that brings great pain to the millions of Americans who endured segregation, Jim Crow.
Oh, shut up. Nobody fucking cares. Oh, God.
We watched this video about an hour ago just to go over some stuff, and he paused it at the same point, and he made the same exact noise.
I don't care. I'm just like, oh my, like, you know, I'm a systemic this and no, like, bitch, no one cares, right? Like, we got actual serious problems going on now. Like, oh God, it's like just, you know, the magic words, right? They just fucking say the magic words. Well, I got news for you, Sandy butt cheeks, right? The magic words are no longer having the magic effect. Like, find some new magic words, right? Like, if you can.
The way that Charlie Kirk died and the way that they're behaving is only of Satan. And I say that as an atheist, it is the most concentrated, pure, raw, crystallized evil that we could witness during a Cold War, is how I feel.
You're halfway there, Artie.
Yeah, you always say that to me. You always say that to me.
It's true. You are. You're halfway there, mate. Right? You're halfway there.
I want to fight them in hell. I don't want God holding me back. Okay. I feel like I have thoughts in my head where I'm gonna be like, "No, God, let me go," and God's gonna be like holding me back, ripping out my shirt, like, "No, dude, don't do it." I'm like, "No, dude, I'll talk to you after, man. We're still cool, but I gotta wait. I gotta do this." That's how my relationship with God,
yeah, man, because it's not like God has like ever supported like warriors at all, right? Like, you know, the Crusades, Vlad Tepes, like, you know, literally 2,000 years of Christian history, right? Like, you know, that's just a lie that you've been like sold by the post 1965, like Judeo-Christian thing, right? God protects warriors, right? God sanctions war, right? If it's a holy war. Just saying, bro.
I have every reason to believe in God with the good fortune I've had in my life. Okay. I've had every reason. All I need is to like almost die and have that moment. That's what I need.
No, you don't.
Because he's already given me so much fortune without believing in him, where I'm like,
just need to go to a good church.
I don't want it. I know.
You just need to go to a good church, man.
Okay, I'll only do it for content. We'll have to somehow make that work.
Okay, that would be awesome. We could,
my experience and whatnot, because I'm gonna be like nervous and weird about it, and it's gonna be really embarrassing. And that's what and all my embarrassing stuff is behind the paywall. Okay,
maybe
embarrassing.
I could come to Boston and take you to a nice Orthodox church. You know,
he knows. I know of the Greek Orthodox church that I would go to. It's not that far from me, and we have Fragile Thinking. Welcome to Soft A, fellas. Thank you, mate. Join in the fun, brother.
Right, back to Sandy Butt Cheeks Cortez.
Yeah.
And the legacy of bigotry today. We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake. Who, after the
it was a mistake.
Violent attack on Paul Pelosi, claimed that, quote, some amazing
God,
unquote, should bail out his brutal assailant. And accused Jews of controlling, quote, not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it.
I mean, he would know. Like, if anyone would be in a position to say that, surely it would be Charlie Kirk, right?
But all of this stuff is just like so generic. It would be like saying that, like, you know, when George Floyd died, you know, like he smelled like boiled leather that's been left out in the sun, 6'5", did porn, didn't take care of his kids, on drugs. Except all those things are true. What she's saying is just generic, like, negative platitudes. They're things that you could just... they're so interchangeable. You could say it about anybody to accuse them of fucking absolutely anything.
Yeah.
And...
I mean, honestly, you could get, like, a large language model to just, like, write basically everything the left says.
Oh, fucking easily.
Point, right?
Oh, easily.
Like, you know, like, I mean, I remember, like, back sort of, like, when, you know, when we were sort of, like, in peak woke, like, one of my sort of amusing pastimes was just like making up fake names for like woke social sciences papers, you know, like I don't know, right? Like the discrimination of, you know, the feminine penis in, like, you know, elongated math, or, you know, like, you know, that one was off the top of my head. I used to put some like actual thought into it. Like, me and a few other people, like we just get drunk and like make up names of fake social science papers, right?
Right.
And you just get because what you realize after a while, after you read enough of this crap, and I had to read a lot of it because I was at fucking university, right? It's just buzzword. Like there's no real thought. You know what it reminds me of? You've read 1984, right?
I'm sorry. Did you ask me if I fucking read, asshole? Everyone, I don't read. I don't like reading, and I think people that read are gay. Okay? No, I didn't read it.
Oh, you fucking Philistine. Okay.
Maybe if I read, I would know what the fuck that is.
In 1984 by George Orwell, right? There's a Newspeak dictionary in the back.
Yes, I'm familiar with 1984. Right. I've seen the movie. Yes.
And one of the words in that dictionary, right, is duck speak, right? And it's basically, right, like one of those words that you can apply in two ways, right? And it means to like basically sort of like speak from the hindbrain, right? where you don't actually engage like your cortex, and you just sort of say buzzwords over and over and over, right?
Yeah.
And used against it's an opponent, right? It means that like you're not really thinking, but you can also use it in a positive way to say that someone is like artfully speaking like party doctrine. You know what I mean, right? Duck speaking, like just like wah, 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 wah. It's just like that. Basically, you should read 1984. Oh, God, I can't believe it.
Have you
man.
seen the movie at the end where
Yes.
he's like, I don't know. I can hear him scream in the movie. If I'm just reading it, it's just words in a paper. The way my brain works when I'm reading, I'm not seeing. I'm lost. If I can read the same 10 pages 2 times in a row, I have no reading comprehension at all whatsoever. I'm retarded.
Yeah, but it's a really good book. It's not that
You people that fucking read are so annoying. Instead of breeders, you're readers. Okay. I'm like,
yeah, but you know, it's. I mean, I guess it is good that you're like retarded in that way because you're the one that gets all the fucking video clips, right? So,
yes,
you know, we like, you know, we need each other. We reach across the divide.
Ardent Party making a good point to not forget to dick slap the like button because we're over 200 viewers right now.
Holy shit, 200!
That actually is enough people to ask to do something. So I actually appreciate that. Thank you.
And the Chud King, is this Newsfist guy an Aussie or a Kiwi? I am an Aussie, mate. Thank you very much. You know, so you know, our relationship with sheep is much more nuanced than those of the Kiwis, obviously, right?
Unquote. His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions of Americans, far from the working tirelessly to promote unity, unquote, asserted by the majority in this resolution. It is equally important that Congress does unite to reject the government's attempt to weaponize this moment into an all-out assault on free speech across the country.
Free speech,
all in the name of
free speech.
Jesus Christ. Imagine if the roles were reversed, bro.
You know, I'm glad they didn't weaponize the death of George Floyd.
Oh, yeah, me too. Imagine if that had happened, bros, right?
You fucking titted demon, you.
Oh, my God.
Charlie Kirk.
Do her tits like literally squirt vinegar or something? It's like, you know, Sandy Vinegar Tits Cortez or something.
It ain't milk, okay? I'm a tit man, as I've said before, okay? She has a large 34C. That's a 34C, but milk doesn't come out of those, okay? And it don't fucking smell good, whatever it is.
She is starting to get the abuela fridge body, I gotta say, right?
She's just turning into one uniform claymation shape.
Wait, we got another super chat from Name the Dynamic. $2. Thank you very much, Name the Dynamic. Lindsay was 1 week away from calling Charlie woke.
Right?
Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
He posted about how Turning Point wasn't letting them come to their events anymore. Like, this is documented that they were at a rocky relationship.
Imagine like in an alternate universe where like James had like launched some like full on like assault against like Charlie Kirk and then he dies like immediately afterwards.
That's what's so gross because he's like saying they're friends. Like, bro, you're fucking creepy. Stop.
Does he even have any friends at this point? I'd like, oh, dude. Honestly, is there anyone whom he would defend sort of regardless? Like, I don't get that vibe from him like at all, right? That there's any person that he would like if their doctrine deviated from his, right? He would turn around and defend and just be like, that person is my friend. You can all like screw off and die. I don't get that sense at all. You know?
Yeah.
President Trump and the FCC are now cynically threatening to shut down ABC and any outlets who give airtime to the administration.
Oh my God. All right, whatever. Let's go to George Floyd.
This is a disgusting.
Right.
Let's go to Floyd. We fucking get it. We get it. Okay. Oh my God. It's never ending with people.
From May 30th, 2020. Oh, it seems like such a long time ago. We were so innocent back then, bro. If you killed a man with health conditions, you still killed a man. George Floyd couldn't breathe. Oh, really? I've never heard that one before. 3 officers held him down. and one with a recorded violent history kneeled on his neck as others helped. Yeah, it's funny. The autopsy report didn't say that, but I mean, right?
Well,
like,
this is right. This is like a day or two after he was killed.
Oh yeah, I'm sure she
This
changed
is
her
her
opinion on this.
knee-jerk reaction.
What knee jerk?
Oh my god! Oh my god! What do I say when I don't realize what I'm saying?
They waited 9 minutes for his last breath. This was not an accident. It was murder.
Yeah, really? Huh? For some reason, George Floyd was just their sacred cow and their saint, because this is what they do. Have you ever noticed they only choose shitty people to make into martyrs?
Oh yeah, that's actually like sort of part of the whole thing. It's called bio-Leninism. I don't know if you're like familiar with that term.
Ooh, I like that. But
so, yeah. So bio-Leninism is the idea that the communists recruit from the most sort of wretched people because they are easy to sort of cultivate in their loyalty, right? So if we think of the trans as a good example of this, right? Not only can they only get sort of acceptance from the sort of communist cadre in which they are a part, but they are also dependent upon them for, hormones and medical care and all this kind of other stuff. And they also make these violent people make excellent street muscle. And given that the tactic of the communists is never sort of rigid, disciplined violence, but just chaos, essentially, they recruit from this group of spiteful mutants. But it's a bad strategy because these people are very, very hard to control. But again, because their sort of modus operandi is just sort of sheer chaos, it doesn't really matter. Like, the right would never, for example, like recruit from, such a group of just heinous retards, right? Like, they would, want...
well, they condemn that type of behavior as well.
Yeah, well, that's right. That's right. Okay.
So if you want, just go to the video I sent you of her to hear her talk about what happened with George Floyd.
Okay.
It's a YouTube video, I believe. We'll just skip over to that.
Sorry, dark mode isn't working for some weird reason. I managed to break dark mode on YouTube. So
we'll just do it for a little bit.
Okay.
If you are calling for an end to this unrest, and if you are calling for an end to all of this, but you are not calling for the end of the conditions that created the unrest, you are a hypocrite.
Okay, so you can just end it there. So if you want the violence, well, it's unrest when they do it. If you want the violence to stop, then you have to do this. Compared to Charlie Kirk, where there's no violence surrounding it, and it was egregious. Like, the double standard right now, these how can you not say there are enemies? What would it take, James? What would it take to call them enemies? Just tell me.
Yeah, for real. Don't call them enemies, guys. Just continue to lie down and let them beat the living crap out of you. Also, we got a super chat from Deadpool Kid. Oh,
DPK.
Hey all, came in late. Just wanted to give my piece. Back in high school days, I was the Charlie Kirk moderate. Now 34, more radicalized, wanting human fence posts. Well, you know what they say, right? Bad neighbors make good fences.
Dude, what but that's the thing. Is the left is here to destroy anyone that gets in their way. They're here to light the house on fire. And then the liberals are here, the James Lindsay'ites are here to watch it burn. And also, so the left and the liberals want to prevent the right from actually putting out any sort of fucking fires that are happening.
Bro, you gotta understand, right? Fighting the fire and letting the fire burn is like a dialectical choice,
my
right?
God.
That they are putting you in, right? You got to make sure that you're not trapped by either side, right? Of putting the fire out or letting the fire burn. The appropriate thing is to stand around, right? And keep debating, right? What it is they want you to do by forcing you into this false dichotomy, right?
What you're doing right now isn't funny to me because it's exactly what he does, and you're just making me angry. That's how much I fucking am so done with this guy, dude. But I keep coming back. Oh, dude. He is he is like fucking insane, like sex with a crazy ex-girlfriend. I keep trying to push him away. But I gotta squeeze in those cheeks one last time. But this is my last time. This is the last time I'm gonna do it.
It's those milky udders, mate. You just can't help yourself, you know.
Dude, and those things are a fucking spewing. Fellas, James Lindsay is a once-in-a-lifetime lolcow. Never again are you going to have somebody that just open people's eyes to Marxism and provide so much value and have such a quick fall from grace and handle it this way. Your kids, you're going to be telling your grandkids about this lolcow. Like, this is never going to happen in their life ever again. I can't imagine what would have to happen to top James Lindsay as a lolcow. He's a legend in the sport. I don't know how we're ever going to top him. He won't stop. He fucking won't stop, dude. You know how much this guy fucking posts every day? He wakes up at fucking 8 a.m. I can time when he's going to wake up, and I posted the link to this stream within, I'm not joking, I have a screen cap, 49 seconds of his first post of the day.
Mate, so Debony Doombringer says Daddy Jim is streaming tomorrow. Where? I have to know. Also, we got a couple of super chats from Damask. $10. Thank you very much, mate.
This guy fucks. You can tell
he fucks, mate. I've seen him down the club. Fucking, like, they call him the tripod.
Oh, you've seen him fuck too? I love
yeah.
I love
it's amazing.
Damask,
you just
love your work, dude.
Sit on the opposite side of the room and just, you're just blown away by the spectacle.
I just stand right next to him jerking off, just trying to help out any way I can.
Just doing my part. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Damask.
Yeah, dude. Thank you.
And $5 from Will You Teach Me? Yeah, that's actually his porno name. I believe I saw him in, Regretful Hooers, part 26. Excellent performance. The left is scared of the fire they started without an extinguisher. Well, they don't need an extinguisher.
They will watch it burn. That is the ultimate evil.
And then once everything is burned down, ... profit, right? And society will magically revivify itself somehow, right? Oh, and we got another $5 from Deadpool Kid.
DPK.
He really fucks. My God. I'm already at the point where being asked, can we talk it out? And my response is a simple no. I'm not going to read the rest of that. Thank you very much.
Whoa! Are you saying that you're going to betray your liberal values and turn into the very thing that you hate? Really? Because what you're saying about, I know you've never heard this. What you're saying about them is what they're saying about you. Do you really want to be like them? You can choke slam me if I ever say that to any of you in person. Immediately. Find the nearest table and just choke slam me through it. This is what the Leftites do all day long. They're like, well, don't you want to be principled? Is that really fair? It's like, none of them, they read like philosophers, but they don't read like any political literature. Actually, honestly, we're talking about James Lindsay. I'm getting fucking hot over here. Let's just go to the James Lindsay stuff, dude.
So someone's saying that he's streaming on his YouTube channel. Like when you say he's streaming,
where did you see this from?
Where did you post it on his YouTube channel? Oh, mate, God, I hope he decides to like actually do like live streams. That would be freaking hilarious.
I don't believe it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't believe it either. But we live in hope. Okay, so you want to go to wait before we do.
Yeah.
I just want to show a bit of rage bait.
Yes.
Anyone remember this? Imagine if the positions were reversed, bros. I imagine that the blacks will be lining up to give a tongue polish to random white people any day now. Don't you? I mean, one thing I gotta say, right, is like, what the fuck is up with white people, right? To do this. You'd never see any self-respecting black man do this, right? Right? Like, just be like, look at these crazy crackers, right? Fucking.
Go on up. Next to line. Go ahead and go up the couch. Y'all go ahead and go down. We got a long list of slaves, too. Go ahead and mess up, all right?
Oh, I like these. Thank you. I'm privileged too. Thank you. I'm privileged.
Yeah.
To do this.
Oh my God, she's just trying to fuck them all.
I need to make this crystal clear. I have made a post. Did I make a video about it years ago? I don't know. Maybe. I think I did. So I was talking to black guys. I have to have this recording somewhere. This is maybe like 2017, 2018. And I was explaining to them that soy boys are white coons. They're the actual race traitors. I want to hear you fucking guys complain about black people. I don't want to hear you complain about race traitors. White people have you beat. They call a fucking black Republican a race traitor, and it's like,
oh, yeah.
Relax, dude. Okay. What about that fat person in the suit that just says "fuck white people"? Dude,
man,
we have the only race traitors. No one has white people are the only one.
Mate, no one does race traitors like whites. For real.
Not even close. Not even close, dude.
We got another super chat from Will You Teach Me for $2. Love you, Australian cunt, I believe is what that meant to say. Thank you very much. Will you teach me? I appreciate that very, very much. Oh my God. I will never get over fucking seeing this shit. Right? Like what the
I'm already over this. This does nothing to me anymore. I've gotten all of it out of myself.
Okay, so shall we go to the Lindsay?
Oh God, can we just show this laser show of George Floyd real quick? Just to show the fucking how over the top the fucking St. Floyd shit was.
I finna be up in the sky by lasers, man. I was gonna actually he had a really, really deep voice. I'm gonna be up in the sky by lasers. No, my accent's like drifting there.
I mean, if he thought it was hard to breathe down here, wait until he goes to a high altitude. Am I right?
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point. He'll be up in space being like, shit, I can't breathe up in space. Oh my God.
A hologram.
Oh, the George Floyd Foundation. Oh God. Fucking.
A hologram. Each event. So this was done across the country, putting a fucking hologram over Confederate monuments across the country. But we can't do a holiday for Charlie Kirk. Okay. We can do Asian American and Pacific Islander Awareness Month. AAPI, trying to collectivize all of the non-white groups as much as possible. We can do that. We can plaster fucking holograms, dude. Talk about the fucking idolatry and symbolism. Holy shit.
More cucked white people. Right. So let's get on to the Lindsay. Man, I love this post. But surely we will both drown. Woke, said the scorpion. Woke right. Just look at this picture, man. I don't know where you got this from, Artie, but this is freaking just amazing.
Honestly, there's a lot of spelling mistakes when I post things in the morning because I literally wake up and with my tired brain have thoughts and see things and need to get it out before I fully wake up.
Wait, so did you make this? Did you?
No. I'll just be like, I still have sleepy brain. Everything's still ethereal to me in the morning. So that's when I'll just start like, I'm essentially blacking out and just finding things, posting things, saying things for like the first 2 hours.
I wish I knew who made this so I could give them credit, but it's freaking awesome, bros. It's freaking awesome. Do you want to do? We got this clip on pseudo-intellect, but it's 11 minutes. This thing.
No. It's just from a minute 10. It's just a minute 10, and it's only going to be for a minute. So this video just came out today. This describes what we are feeling with the Lindsayites on the internet. Okay.
Wait, what's the name of this guy's channel, by the way? Because this is pretty good.
Remnant 777. His editing is immaculate. He put super high effort into these videos. Remnant 777.
Yep. Shout out. This is a good video. Thanks, man.
All be all. Firstly, we have to understand them, know exactly what drives them, and at their core, they are very antisocial people who are extremely insecure. That is where a lot of their obnoxious behavior stems from. Now, let me give you an example here. Let's say that you were talking to one of these midwits, and you said, The weather outside looks beautiful. Off of that statement alone, they're gonna rush into it and say, yes, it is. And that happens because of the high pressure systems over our heads. You see, the clear skies happen when the air sinks instead of rising the way that the sunlight scatters through the atmosphere. And it's like, right, we haven't even talked about what do you even mean by beauty and how we can prove what beauty is at the end of the day. Oh my word. Just shut up. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit about whatever you're saying right there. We have all had this happen to us. We've had this person who goes on an extremely long tangent that nobody cares about, just for the sole purpose of demonstrating how much they've read on Wikipedia. And the reason why they do this is because when you interact with them, is what is always at the center of their mind is, how can I take this opportunity to show the people around me how smart and knowledgeable I am? Which at the end of the day is rotten to the core because it is only self-serving. And people can sense this. We all sense this coming.
Just pause it. I'm gonna end up stealing the video. I'm just gonna end up watching the entire video, dude. It's such a fucking spot-on, succinct, well-made, well-edited, highly produced video of exactly. I am so James Lindsay brained, okay? Because he just keeps giving. He's a giver with a hard R. Where I was like, oh, he's gonna bring up James Lindsay. That's how accurate and fucking maps onto reality it was with that and the Lindsay-ites. And I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have to do that. So I'm probably gonna start that video tonight.
Right. So Lindsay has been beefing with Matt Walsh.
Well, no, he's been beefing with him. Matt Walsh doesn't know he exists, doesn't care.
It turns out that Matt Walsh, for no reason whatsoever, the killing of Charlie Kirk, was basically like, we got to draw a line under this, right? Like, these people are our enemies. They're like literally killing us, right? And James, of course, is like, no, leave the centrists alone. Wait, we don't have the original tweet, do we? Oh, yeah, fuck it, right? Who fucking cares, right? I mean, it's basically just Lindsay being like, oh no. So Lindsay's basically saying like, I don't know whether like Matt's actually, woke right. I don't know whether he's actually enough.
Well, that's what he does. He does that bitch thing where he's like, I don't know if he is, but he's getting, he's kind of heading in that direction.
Yeah, he's hanging out with a bad crowd, right? He's going down to the 7-Eleven.
He's an apologist.
He's smoking cigarettes around the back, with Oren McIntyre and stuff like that, right? We're a bit worried about him, right? Like, this is the other weird thing about Lindsay, right? He basically acts like he's like everybody's like dad or something. You know what I mean, right? Like, I'm a bit concerned about you, right? It's like, dude, no one asked your fucking opinion, right?
So I love Jordan Henry, who I was going to debate because he was challenging people to a debate, this is what he does. This is what the Lindsay-ites do. I had a story last week of one. Here's my story of another one this week of challenging to a debate. And you go, okay, let's debate. And then he was like, well, DM me. And it's like, well, no, let's set up a debate. You were saying you wanted to debate. I was going to go through that on here, but we don't have any fucking time and it's whatever. But so this guy is already highly antagonistic, a fucking huge fucking pussy. And he has a picture of him and his kid and as his profile picture. If I found out, Jordan Henry, if I found out my father behaved on the internet like he does, and then he told me to clean my room, I'd slap him in his fucking face and make him clean my room in front of me. And he would do it because of how he behaves online. This guy is such a psychotic fucking pussy. And just like the left, what does James Lindsay do? He activates the fucking crazies that go and antagonize people, and he never disavows their behavior. So what I've just primed you into seeing how the Democrats have this rhetoric from above, and then below, their minions act way more extreme, way more crazy, and they never disavow what they're doing. James Lindsay radicalizes people and then has them go out and but not in society, online, and act absolutely fucking insane. I hate these people, and I love these people.
So what this is all about, in case anyone is not aware, is Carl Schmitt and the friend-enemy distinction. Now, James Lindsay has been reading Carl Schmitt, right? But he doesn't understand it, right? Like, this is, it'd be like if I picked up, right, like, some PhD level math book on like fucking, I don't know, right? Like binomial wank transactions or something like that, right? Sure. And I sat down, right, and I read it, right? But I didn't understand a fucking word of it. And I'd be like, but I read it. It's like, yes, James, we know you've read it, but you don't understand it, right? Like, clearly you don't understand it because you came out with the completely wrong impression, right? And be like, again, right? I come out and like, read, and I'm like, oh, I know everything about binomial wank transactions. No, you don't, because you didn't do, right, like the years of like basic and intermediate math that you would need to understand the binomial theory of like transient wank interactions or whatever it is. Okay, right?
James Lindsay 2 hours ago just released Carl Schmitt and the total state. It is 2 hours and 48 minutes.
Right.
And in just a moment, we're going to give you a nice 5-minute clip of him describing Carl Schmitt for the first time a couple of years ago to show you how little research he actually does and how little he knows what he's talking about.
And he's going to do this thing, I know, because he's already doing it in one tweet, is he's going to completely ignore Schmitt's concept of the political, right? Written before the Enabling Act and the Reichstag fire, right? Where he was basically talking about the intense polarization in Weimar Germany, right? Where the communists were fighting the National Socialists and all this kind of other stuff. And he's going to skip all over that, right? And go on to the legal opinion that he wrote for the Nazi government after the Enabling Act. And he's going to act as though these two things are basically the same, but they're not, right? So look, Matt Walsh comes out and he's like, look, these people are clearly our enemies. My friend-enemy distinction. James is all like, oh my God, you're a Nazi, right? And
no, James didn't call him a Nazi.
He just heavily implied it, right? Like the good fucking is that he is,
And then that's how the struggle session starts, where he goes, no, all I said was my thoughts. And then he completely reductive opinion.
You literally misrepresented me, Matt. Why is it impossible for you to do the right thing here? Why, Matt? Why won't you do the right thing?
The right thing. How is that not a struggle session, by the way?
It's like
do the right thing.
If you love me, you do the right thing, Matt. It's like so fucking manipulative.
Right?
Like,
But that's the moralizing now, what shoe0nHead was experiencing. This is female. This is female behavior to try to moralize you like that.
Look at this bullshit, right? I believe you need to delete this post you made and offer a retraction and an apology. You have slandered me and lied about my position maliciously and in anger. It's not acceptable. Struggle session initiated. And James
this is libel. This is libel. Okay, read what he thinks libel is.
So Matt Walsh is like, apparently I've gone feral because I said that violent criminals who slaughter innocent girls should be made to suffer. Oh my God, what a radical position, right? Tell me, James, how do you propose we punish criminals without causing suffering? Isn't suffering what makes it a punishment to begin with? Or are you so far along in your woke devolution that you think we shouldn't punish crime at all? I thought it would be a couple more years before we start hearing you call for restorative justice and equity, but have we already arrived at this point? Honestly curious, right?
So the UK has really strict like libel and defamation laws, way more like you guys. How often do you make fun of the United States? How you can't prosecute anybody for saying fucking anything? Brazen lies that we fucking tell, and you're like, no one can get arrested for that.
There's actually like a brisk industry in the UK of basically like libel tourism, right? Where like, you can't get like a case prosecuted in the US, right? But because like a lot of information is global now, you basically fly over to the UK and you start a case there.
What's his name? Graham Linehan had something like that happen, right?
Yeah.
So how is this, even under your strict UK laws, fucking libel?
It's not. It's not libel. It's not. Right, it's not libel at all. It's
not
bullshit.
Even in the most strict, censorious places, it's not fucking libel. Let alone here, you fucking psycho.
Vishboro in their time to struggle session. James Lindsay again.
Yeah. So when I say there is no moderate left, okay. Now these liberals, I guess they're not right, but they're not left, but they're acting very left.
Of course,
there is no moderate left. To the point where people who don't even think they're left are still acting left.
Because all of the framing is inherited from the left, right? Like this is why they can't help but reach for the one ring, right? Which is to call people racist and Nazis, right? And like all James has done is invented a couple of new words, right? That basically mean racist and Nazi, right? And then redeploy them in a hope that people like won't notice. It's exactly the same fucking thing.
I know, but the midwit video is so fucking on point, though, because he's trying to sound smart, but it's only to people, like, he's alienating anyone that ever tried to agree with him every day. I don't even know who he has left at this point.
No, I'm saying he lied about me to millions of people for no reason.
That's what a child sounds like. I told you, to be on the left, you have to age regress. That's something a child would say, where they did this for no reason. And then you go, for no reason? Well, all I did was call him stupid. It's like, so you called him an insult. He still shouldn't have hit you, but this is talking to a child right now. No accountability at all whatsoever.
Okay, so then the orbiters get involved. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, right? This is Jordan Henry for the second day in a row. The second day. So he didn't just do it once. Matt Walsh has transgressed twice. He has explicitly made the friend-enemy distinction. Oh, no, bros, right? Matt Walsh thinks that some people are his friends and other people are his enemies, specifically the people who are killing his friends. How horrible.
So they love plausible deniability with a lot of their speech, okay? So a concept penned by Carl Schmitt, which to the reader might suggest he created it or originated something, but that simply means he wrote it down.
Yeah, and not only that, right? A concept penned by Carl Schmitt, chief jurist of the Third Reich. What the fuck does that mean? It means he's a Nazi, right? And therefore, because he's a Nazi, right?
Yeah.
If you like, it's literally just just call him a Nazi, right? Like, look, Schmitt, right? Particularly when he was writing the concept of the political, was against both the communists and the Nazis, right? And he was bemoaning the intense polarization in Weimar Germany. And it was not until the Reichstag fire that he came around and reluctantly backed Hindenburg, choosing Hitler to be Führer, right? These people, they act, right, as though all of this shit that was going on in Weimar Germany was happening in a time of perfect peace, right? Like they're just hanging out in the Cotswolds, right, in England on a beautiful summer's day, right? And they just wake up and they're like, we're going to be complete dicks now. Dude, there was street violence, assassinations, arson. For fuck's sake, the parliament got burned down, right? Germany nearly got subsumed by a communist revolution in 1918. They never teach you that shit in school. Gee, I wonder why, right? That communist revolution, that aborted communist revolution, was what literally birthed the Weimar Republic, right? And because it wasn't a complete solution either way, the KPD, the Communist Party, who birthed anti-fascist action, by the way, right? The original Antifa, right? They deployed street muscle to do assassinations, beatings, arson, and the only force that could oppose them, that had enough street muscle to oppose them, right, were the National Socialists, right? So at this point, the entirety of Germany was not only riven by street violence, but also hyperinflation, mass degeneracy, the government stopped working. It's not like they just woke up one day, oh, what a lovely day outside. I think I'll, do the enabling act, right? Oh my God, I'm so fucking sick of people just having a complete misunderstanding of history.
Dude, so this kills me right here. Listen how fucking condescending this is, and it sounds like someone's talking about white privilege. Imagine, yeah,
we got a super chat from Total Blackout Painting. Oh, mate,
DBB.
He fucks, mate. Right,
look, right there.
You've never met him, right? But when he gets in a car, right, he literally needs a sidecar for his cock and balls. They are huge, right? He's just a mutant, mate, right?
I need little windshield wipers for my screen after that one.
For $20. I've said it once. I've said it 1,000 times. Liberals only exist to.
I don't agree. I'm hanging on to liberalism. Okay, I'm gonna be the villain. I want to have mud sport debates where people shit on me, and I get to be the villain defending liberalism. Okay. I'm the good guy. Nobody. I really want an opportunity. I love being the villain, and I haven't gotten.
You're going to be the sensible center, are you? Right. So
hold on.
Okay.
So this is so lefty, where it sounds like he's being lectured about white privilege right now. Let's give Matt the benefit of the doubt and assume he doesn't understand what he's saying or its origin. Flippant use of the white privilege is extremely reckless and irresponsible. Matt loses credibility for not doing his due diligence in researching the concept. How is this not a leftist lecturing you about a fucking concept that they just introduced 5 minutes ago? Okay.
Yep.
Like, he has this responsibility to do research. What, to make you feel better when most of us feel fine about it? It's so narcissistic and self-entitled.
And also, right, I've seen the Lindsay orbiters do this a lot, right? So you'll take something like the friend-enemy distinction, right? And I think Matt is basically, he's not really talking about Schmitt. He's just basically saying, look, we have to distinguish between who are our friends and who are our enemies, right? This is a concept like literally as old as time, right?
To add on to this, I started feeling this way probably like 4 or 5 years ago when Gavin McInnes would say he doesn't like to punch right. And I was like, yeah, like, I don't really care to like criticize the right like at all. With all the like nothing they do on the right is crazier than the shit I see on the left. And then so I started implementing on the channel. I'm like, let me pick a target. And then if like Tim Pool is on screen, I'm not going to do a preamble or a preface or Steven Crowder. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I don't like all of it. No, I don't care. I don't think about them at all. I'm targeting the fucking left. And whoever I have to use on the right to target the left is what I'm going to do. All I care about is targeting the left. I've had that mindset for like a while now. Since the Charlie Kirk assassination, it's like, we need to stop arguing with each other on the right. We have to like unify more than ever before. That's how I'm interpreting what, oh, actually, can we play the, what Matt Walsh actually said in that video?
Which video?
I think if you scroll down, this is in
reference. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. Hang on, I got it. Right. Yeah, let's hear the words of Matt woke right Walsh. Right? He's
fascist!
Secretly a Nazi and a fascist.
Nazi!
Probably a racist as well. Right? What's his next documentary going to be? What is a racist?
That if I walk out of this building and I get killed, that every conservative, even the ones that I've feuded with, that they will not be happy about that. They will mourn that. They will mourn that, and the same if it happened to any of us. They'll mourn it. Even the people, the conservatives, didn't like us. But I also know that on the left, they won't share in that mourning for the most part. And so kind of the friend-enemy distinction is easy for me to see. The people who will mourn your death are your friends. The people who will dance on your grave and laugh in the face of your grieving wife are your enemies in this battle, and so that's where the unity needs to come.
The wretched demons, honestly.
I mean, it's not wrong.
So
right? I mean, like,
he said he understands it. He said it makes sense to him. He's not even full-throated, like saying anything.
How can you gainsay a very reasonable statement like that, right? If someone who would like kill you, right, and dance on your grave, right, and kill your wife and children, if that person is not your enemy, then what the fuck, like, what does the word even mean at that point, right? The word just dematerial, like, you're basically like, oh, you know, no one could be my enemy. Like, oh my God, fuck off.
So so based off of that, we have this, you know, exactly what we just looked at with the Midwit video, where everyone's like, no one fucking cares. Dude, all he said, and he said it at the most appropriate time, and everything he said was true and said in a very mild, moderate, milquetoast way. This is not the hill to die on. This is not the time to try and fucking do this crusade right now. But they're not dividing the right? At a time where we're trying to have unity among the right.
But if Matt even understands the superficial aspects of Carl Schmitt, then he knows he is quoting not only a Nazi, but a major figure in the forming of Hitler's philosophy and evil enterprise. Yeah, look, just call people on the right Nazis more, right? Like, that is sure to work, right? Like, that is absolutely sure to get the result that you want, right? More likely, this is a direct or thinly veiled attack on the fundamental liberal tenets of the Constitution, where we, the people, are the sovereign. Are you? Really? Really? Right? Like, isn't we, the people, some kind of like collectivism to you people, right? And if it's we, the people, and we imported like, you know, 11 billion Somalians, right? And got rid of all the Americans, right? Or like, you know, kept like 100,000 of them. Would it really be we, the people, who are sovereign? Oh, fucking, oh my God, these fucking people, right? Instead, according to Schmitt, the sovereign makes the existential decision between friend and enemy in the political sphere. Yes, because it is the sovereign who decides when to go to war, you fucking idiot. Right? Like, I mean, look, Trump, right, is the guy who decides when to go to war and who to go to war with, right? Trump is the guy, right? Like, look, the actual conception by Schmitt is the sovereign is he who decides upon the state of exception, right? So no matter how sort of well-crafted your laws are, no matter how well-crafted your system is, sooner or later, something is going to happen that is not covered by those laws, okay? Because you can't write laws for everything. Something new is going to happen. Now, when something new happens, whoever the person is that decides, right, upon that exceptional case, he is the sovereign, right? That's what fucking Schmitt is saying, right? He's not saying that it should be this way. He is merely describing that is how it is, right? It is
what
the
if
sovereign.
I told you, did you know that James Lindsay knows that for a fact? That's going to be played in the video of James Lindsay talking about Carl Schmitt, that he understands that already. Did you know that?
Like, it's, you know, as someone who has done a lot of political science and political philosophy, like, this is just fucking painful. It's like watching a fucking 4-year-old like try and like,
I know, but we already have elements of this. Like, don't we have presidential immunity? We already have elements of this in a liberal democracy.
Oh, I mean, this guy's so fucking retarded, right? Oh, the sovereign is not going to be you, the people. Oh, yeah? So did the American people decide to go to war with Iraq?
Right.
Right? Did they sit down and have a referendum before they announced war with Saddam Hussein, right? Did they ask every single like little fucking person in America and be like, oh, we're not going to go to war? No, of course they didn't. Don't be fucking stupid.
They don't like to use the word democracy when you're talking about that.
You can't run foreign policy like that. You actually cannot run the executive like that. The executive is literally called the executive because it makes those kinds of decisions without consulting
you need the freedom
people
to bypass everything to get things done. And that's the criticism of communism and socialism, where it's like we can't vote in everything. Nothing fucking's gonna fucking get done.
Oh, he's fucking like trying to like fucking he has the balls to do so in front of Shapiro. Like,
yes, he has the balls.
We got another super chat from Deadpool Kid. For $5, all this femme energy from James Lindsay sounds like he's either a disgruntled Figs bearded Les or a Truny Chubbs.
Honestly, I really want this to
wait. Quizax Chatterack, not a super chat, right? But that's a great name. Do you feel sovereign right now? That would make such a great the Bane meme. Do you feel in charge?
I really want to try to get Cluster B Cup to stick with James Lindsay.
Oh, Cluster B Cup. Yeah, that's a great comment. Quizax Chatterack. I like it. Right. So wait. Okay, hang on. Right. Sorry. We'll go on.
Can you believe he quoted a Nazi in front of Shapiro?
Can you believe it? Oh my God!
I love him.
How dare he break decorum in such a... Don't you know little Ben's going to get his like feeling hurts? Because if there's one person in the world, right, who needs to be defended from hurty words, it's Ben fucking Shapiro. Oh my fucking God, right?
And so Matt Walsh is like, okay, well, and like, so the initial Jordan Henry tweet right now, it might be at 3.5 million views. So it really blew up. And so now James Lindsay is like, haha, now there's attention. Let me swoop in. And of course he does what we just watched in the midwit video. Another classic James Lindsay 2,500 word fucking essay. And he starts it with a false dichotomy fallacy. He starts it with there are simply two choices. And right there, it's like, no one's obligated to read that. There's not only two choices, you fucking asshole. Real quick, just go back. Real quick, I just want to read what
I just wanted to say, right, I read a lot of retarded shit, right? Okay, yeah. I've read queer theory, I've read Foucault, I've read Marx, right? But this is now getting to the point where I cannot read this shit that like Lindsay is like saying
because it's midwit.
It's so fucking retarded, right? Like he knows the words, but he doesn't fucking understand what they mean. It's fucking right.
It's the midwit video, dude. It's fucking.
God.
It's. I had to stop watching it because it was going to poison my mind. Because I'm just going to repeat every line from the fucking video. Anyway, so Matt Walsh goes, they really are going with this line of attack. I'm a secret Nazi because I use it. Because like when you're right wing, when you're on the right, you are repeating back the effect of what the person is saying. There's no bitchier female, more estrogenic trait than saying, I didn't call you a Nazi. Men go, I know what you're fucking saying, dude. Okay. So say it with your fucking chest. So that's how I was actually approaching this. Saying I'm a secret Nazi because I use the term friends and enemies. This is pure psychosis at this point. James is mentally unwell. I used to think he was knowingly engaging in smears and fabrications, but now I truly believe the guy has a mental illness. It's the only explanation. He feels like how many of us have felt in this journey, and that really spoke volumes to me, where it's like, you understand, Matt. Especially when Jordan Peterson's trying to force Matt Walsh to fucking talk to James Lindsay.
Right. So okay. So this is Lindsay's retarded understanding of.
Are you
Schmitt.
really gonna chomp at this a little bit right now?
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. Right. You know, because again, right, like basically
we're almost 2 hours in, just so you know.
Oh, okay. Right. So look. So basically, this is my point. Right. He does a few paragraphs on the actual important stuff, and then just gets into calling Schmitt a Nazi. Right.
Right. Oh my God.
Like literally,
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that.
Like he just okay, right? And so Schmitt, right, like, you know, the friend enemy distinction is not some idle phrase Matt just happens to be throwing around. How do you know, James? You've got psychic powers,
Mind reading,
right? Okay.
Typical leftist.
Comes from writing of Carl Schmitt, who was a crown jurist. Yes. He was a fucking Nazi, right? Comes from the book, The Concept of the Political. Now, he just boils this entire thing down to one fucking paragraph.
So he can understand it.
Right? Now, what Schmitt was basically saying, right, is that the essential quality of politics, right, can be reduced to that of the distinction between friend and enemy, right? So people who are on my side, people who are on the other side, right? And this is not the...
You cut out. I can't hear you. But how much do you want to bet when James Lindsay goes on a plane and someone goes, okay, are we ready to get on the plane? James goes, get on the plane. I'd rather get in the plane. And he really thinks he's being funny. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right, I'm back. Sorry about that, right? Okay, so the point about the friend-enemy distinction, right, is that, you know, there's my side and there's your side, right? And this is not... The distinction is not like the inimicus, right? Or like personal hate that you might have for another person, right? It's more like hostility, right? Or like, you know, I don't like those people. They have different goals. They live a different way from me, right? And this is the fundamental sort of idea behind politics. And Schmitt goes on further, okay, right, to point, this is something, by the way, of course, that fucking Lindsay doesn't fucking address, right? Schmitt goes on to basically say that this is a fundamental part of how humans work, right? And that one of the problems with liberalism, right, is that it tries to completely erase this urge in humanity, right? And reduce everything to like the liberal thing of like, you know, we can all get along, or the capitalist thing of like, you know, everything is like transactional. And the more that you suppress this fundamental urge, right, and try to get everyone to like fit into the same frame, when these forces do reemerge, they emerge super violently, right? Which is literally what we are seeing right now. And Schmitt basically says that the best thing to do is not to suppress these urges, not to pretend that everyone is the same, right? But to have a healthy sense of my team, your team, and to make peace, but not pretend that everyone is the same. Because if you suppress it, everyone goes fucking psycho.
The way that I interpret it is that, like, it's the animal kingdom. Like, we're humans, but we're civilized animals. Like, in the most animalistic sense, like, animals kill and fucking eat. They kill, fucking eat, okay?
Yeah.
And so we need to realize that underneath all of our civility in society, this does exist, and people will abuse it and not give a fuck about whatever rules you make up. This is a reality, and we should be open about that reality. Because if we're not, it'll just be hidden and psychopaths get to run throughout society.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And it's just it's right. And so then of course he goes on to talk about what Schmitt did after the Reichstag fire and the Enabling Act and like all the again, everyone in Germany thought that the country was basically close to collapse, right? Like I was saying, they didn't like wake up and like they're fine, right?
Why would they be like that?
Oh my God. Did you know that Matt Walsh retweeted Oren McIntyre? We're quite confirmed.
Wait. How do you know? Did he circle? Okay, he circled it. Now I know. Okay, yeah, that's proof right there they did it. Now it's really important. Hold on, scroll back up. It's really important to drive this home how insidious this actually is. Jordan Henry says, because none of his fanboys are smart enough to think for themselves, Matt Walsh denies quoting Nazi Carl Schmitt by reposting Oren McIntyre, who spends a whole chapter of his book quoting Nazi Carl Schmitt, repeating Nazi. I
mean, I didn't get around to reading Oren's book. I do have an actual copy, right? But from what I know of Oren, I don't think...
All he said was lol, by the way. All he said was lol.
But my point is, right, I'm sure like Oren references Schmitt, right, in his book, The Total State. But I cannot believe that Oren is basically like sucking his dick and saying, oh yeah, we need like, the fucking total state. Like, yeah, I don't know.
How often does James Lindsay do a cunty passive aggressive repost with a fucking comment and say,
oh, all the fucking time. All the fucking time.
Right.
Right.
What else you got?
Okay, so this is the legal basis of the total state.
Hold
right?
on. So there is James Lindsay reading about Carl Schmitt for 5 minutes.
Where is that? Hang on, I've got it here. Right, yeah. Let's play that.
So I want to put it in James's own words, and yes. I want you guys to think if you learned more, and Mr. Fist sounded more intelligent than James Lindsay. I actually love the way that you did it to have you do it first, and then have James Lindsay go into it and see how he sounds. Now, this is a fucking 3-hour video, as he always does. It's gonna be similar to the one he released like 2 hours ago. Listen to him stumble, bumble. It's not fucking edited. It's just done in one take, and he does not sound intelligent at all whatsoever. And he admits that he's fucking retarded in it.
Yeah, he's just...
Caesar the Great for $5, mate. There we go. Keeping it going. It's flowing like the Nullarbor River. When I picture James Lindsay, I picture him wearing his tighty whities over his pants, like fucking Quail Man from Doug.
The super chats flow through us like water through the buffalo. Thanks very much, Caesar the Great. Right, let's hear James from his own milky udders, right? And you can decide whether you think I've put words in his mouth. Because I'm not. I'm honestly, I am really trying to be
more intelligent. You've done a better job. This is why I think you'd be good at debating, because you're very good at steel manning somebody else's position better than they can. That's how you know you're ready to have a conversation with somebody.
I do like to do that. All right, let's go.
Wanting a society with strong leadership. So Carl Schmitt had kind of two really big ideas. Who was he though? He was eventually the crown jurist of the Third Reich. I did not mispronounce that. He was Adolf Hitler's crown jurist in Nazi Germany in the 1930s and 1940s. Now, whether he was a committed Nazi or not is an open question. I've heard that he did and heard that he did not, and I don't know which is correct, and I'm not interested enough to dig into it. I find out if he renounced Nazism after...
Why would you listen to him?
He might have been a Nazi. Maybe he wasn't a Nazi.
Bro, you were just ready to pull up resources on stream to like research in real fucking time to like make the accuracy of what you're fucking saying, and you can't be bothered to fucking look it up.
Oh my fucking God, right? Like you could just go to Wikipedia, right? Or like
he's off screen.
Fucking, it's so great. Look, for the record, right? Like again, as I was saying, right? Like Schmitt was very reluctant about, he originally did not like either the communists or the Nazis, but like many people in Weimar Germany, they were won over to the Nazis because they saw the communists as an existential threat, right? Particularly after the fucking parliament burnt down, right? Like, oh my God, right? But we got Quizats Chatterack for $20. Goodness mate. Man, this guy fucks, right? I've read Dune, right? And not many people know this, but there's actually a secret addendum to Dune, right? Where the Kwisatz Haderach, right, develops, he takes an incredibly large dose of spice, right? And it just makes his dick swell to the size of a continent, right? And dominates all of Arrakis, right? And, and his dick has like the power to see into the future, right? It's like literally the size of like 100 sandworms. Like it's freaking amazing, right?
Don't even get me started on his edging discipline, but that's not why we're here today. That'll be for a different day, okay?
The super chats must flow. Oh, thanks very much, Kwisatz Haderach. I really
thanks
appreciate
a lot,
that,
bud.
mate.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Oh, fuck it. You're gonna make me listen.
Okay, we are 30 seconds into 5 minutes right now, so let's go.
Oh my god.
Hitler died and the Nazi regime fell in 1945. However, before the Nazis took power in 1933, he was certainly not a Nazi. He, in fact, was working very vigorously to warn von Hindenburg that the Nazis and the communists presented two huge threats to the Germans, and that what von Hindenburg needed to do was to seize unbridled executive power. An unbound executive is one of his concepts. Strong leadership, in other words. Not electing servants who are public servants who serve with extremely limited powers and checks and balances and so on with the consent of the governed, but rather an unbound executive. One of the things that Carl Schmitt laid out as a theory of political sovereignty, that a sovereign is defined by being able to be exempt from his own rules and laws. Your sovereignty means that you're not bound by anything.
We already have
you
that.
Can go.
Yes, and again,
in a liberal democracy, that's already there.
And the reason why Schmitt said this, right, was because what basically gripped Germany at the time was this concept of der Führerprinzip, right? Mm-hmm. The leader principle, right? Führer just means leader in German, right? And the idea basically was to harken back to an idea from ancient Rome, right? That when shit got really bad, you elect a dictator, right? This is where the word dictator actually comes from, right? In the Roman system, there was a function whereby when stuff got really bad, you could elect one guy to rule the country for a limited period. I think it was like 3 years, right? Because certain situations were so complicated, right? And so urgent that you couldn't spend time faffing around with like the Senate this and the Senate that, right? You needed one dude, right, to take control and fix the shit. And then the idea was once this term was over, he would give up the dictatorship and then civil government would return, right? Nobody talks about this, right? Like now, right. Okay, right? They're just to the leftist mind, the idea of the dictator is just like, yeah, Trump's the dictator. No, he fucking isn't, right? Like, and of course, right, the executive in such a system, the dictator must have supreme executive power, right? Because often these situations where you elect the dictator, shit is so fucked up, right? And so urgent.
What about when COVID happened? Do we have to vote on shit as an example when an emergency happens?
Yeah. So COVID, right, is actually the perfect example, Artie. Like, yeah, well done, old chap, right? It is a situation, right, that could not really be foreseen. I mean, they did actually have protocols and they just ignored them all. But let's not talk about that.
We understand the point. You're making a point. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to make a point. Okay. Right. So there's this horrible fucking crisis, right? And you're like, this crisis is outside of the bounds of normal law, right? It is a state of exception, right? As Schmitt would talk about it, right? And the actual quote is, "Sovereign is he who decides upon the state of exception," right? So the sovereign is the person who at a certain point can say, right, we are disregarding the normal rules at this point, right? Because something so bad, so pressing has happened, right? If we don't fix this shit right now, millions are going to die, right? The whole country is going to collapse. Again, right? People just act as if like, I know I've said this point before, right? But I just want to drive this home. These were not normal times,
right?
It's not like everything was like going fine.
Imagine if we're historically judged by COVID and only COVID without anything before or after it. Dude, exactly. You should make videos where you break down clips of James Lindsay.
Oh, yeah, maybe I should.
That you should think about.
Would people watch that? If you would, then maybe I might do that. You know, that'd be kind of like
It
fun.
comes very naturally to you because we are a minute and a half into 5 minutes now. It's so wrong. It's so wrong all at once. I know. See, I know it's wrong. I can feel it's wrong. I can't say how it's wrong. And I feel like a lot of people feel the same way, but when you're able to articulate the exact things that are wrong with it all at once, I love it.
Right. Okay. Yeah, we're a minute and a half in already. Just can't help myself, mate. Right. It's just so wrong. I can't let it pass.
Go above the rules and the laws. And so the sovereign is defined as the person who is empowered to be unbound by the law. So checks and balances be damned. So that's strong leadership. So that's already concerning because we don't really want a American dictator like an American Franco, although they do. That's a problem. In fact, they argue on Twitter sometimes, as Mr. Haywood did today, as of this recording, that sometimes a dictator is not really that bad. You know, some dictators are good, some dictators are bad, blah, blah, blah. And they keep referencing back to Caesar, and they do actually do a lot of kind of Caesarism and Hail Caesar this and Hail Caesar that in the little club. You know, these people are kind of behind this. But anyway, that's one of Carl Schmitt's big ideas. The other of Carl Schmitt's big political ideas, I didn't finish the story about what happened. So Hitler took the chancellorship because von Hindenburg did not seize unbound executive power and smash the Nazis and the communists, not necessarily.
They couldn't. Hindenburg did not have the power to do this, right?
I know, but he's even telling things sequentially out of non-linearity, where he then has to go back and go, but anyways, I wasn't done talking about this. He can't even tell it in a fucking coherent way.
Hindenburg had the power to smash the communists, right?
Oh,
they
big time,
been
$5, mate. Big time, $5, mate. No more left, only the right remains. That's
very nice.
The only option. And if you want to see why that's the only option, well, if you're a hard R feller, I have embarrassing videos of me from 2017, 2018. I have a lot of them. I can release them over the course of months and years. I have so many. And it's me being on the left, talking, trying to understand what's happening around me. And I tried left. I tried liberal with the Lindsayites for the last couple of years. And everything intuitively makes sense with the right wing. You don't have to explain things with all these words and rationalizations. Things are just very much more understood, and you just give each other a nice little nod, and you're more so on the same. There's cohesion on the right, I would say.
So people are saying they would watch me tear apart Lindsay. All right, I'll do one of those. I'll do one of those. So okay,
dude, that's gonna be
it'll be a few. So look, Hindenburg did not have the power to crush the communists, right? Like this is the entire point. The communists did not care about the law, right?
Check the. Is there another super chat? I can't see anything because my computer is old and I need to get a new computer.
No. Oh yes, we do. Ardent Party for $2 Canadian, 2 loonies.
Yeah, he's a real loon, mate.
Actual cheap stream advert. Check your DMs, Fisty. I will do that. I will do that. Here we go. Right. Okay. Let me just post the link.
Well, if you want, you can just play that. You can just play this so that can distract you, or you don't want to miss any of this. Is that what it is?
I don't want to miss it. I'm just, I'm gonna right. Okay.
You are such a glutton for punishment. Oh my god.
I take this personally, right? I've spent a lot of time studying this stuff, right?
Here, let me strap you to my bosom and pet the back of your head, and you can tell big old Artie all about it, okay?
This guy. I can really right. So the communists could not be controlled, right? They were like engaging in political assassinations, fucking firebombings, beatings, all this kind of, and the National Socialists were the only other group with enough street muscle to oppose them.
Really knowing whether or not that would work or what it would create if he did. But anyway, Hitler gets the chancellorship. Within a few weeks, Carl Schmitt joins the Nazis, rises very quickly to become a chief political philosopher and crown jurist for Hitler's Nazi party, as it ran Germany rather famously, rather badly. And so, although...
Actually, James, I think you will find that for about like 10 years, actually, there was this thing that was commonly known as the German economic miracle. I mean, you could look it up, right? It's on fucking Wikipedia, right? I mean, you do have access.
He has
to
a whole
Grok.
team behind him. There's employees at New Discourses, remember? There's employees and it's a company, right? It's not just him behind a fucking computer like everybody else.
This fucking guy. The thing is, right? Like there are totally just legitimate criticisms you could make without like messing up history this bad, right? It's not like you can't criticize.
I know,
like,
but so think of how long. Like, this is a 2-hour video. So he prattles on and tell me what part of this is not fucking midwit, by the way, dude. It's so spot on. I can't stand it.
So if I got one of his streams and reacted to it, the thing would be like 6 hours.
I'd edit it. I'd edit the whole thing and listen to it. No, you'd honestly want to find, a good clip and contextualize it.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you after about it.
All right.
So people would argue, who are fans, and it turns out those people exist and maybe on the rise again, unfortunately, that it was a very efficient system. In fact, I've heard that from people who are running the kind of World Economic Forum sort of universe, that it was a very efficient system, but it got some things wrong, like the violence in particular. And so that's uncomfortable. I don't know why we'd want to go that way. But in 1932, right before Hitler took the chancellorship, which was in 33, if you know your history, Carl Schmitt published a book.
Oh, wait a second. Mate, this is a good super chat. Big time for $5 dragging his cock behind him like an engorged worm, right? $1,000, James Lindsay will refuse to speak about the Black Horror on the Rhine. Have you ever heard of the Black Horror on the Rhine?
No idea what that is. You guys
You'll love this, Artie, right? After World War I, right, when the French occupied the Rhine, they brought over, for no particular reason, a whole bunch of black people from Algeria, right, as soldiers, right, to lord it over the German population, right? And you'll never believe what happened, man. Like, you're going to be very, very surprised about this, right? There were like reports of like rapes and widespread abuse and all of this stuff. But I have been I've been reliably informed.
My retarded American brain, Boston brain, is trying to understand what you're saying. So are you telling me that they were using black people as a biological weapon?
Yeah. But it's cool, man, because like the French investigated themselves, right? And they discovered that all of these reports were like massively exaggerated, right? And that, there wasn't like any truth to it, right? It's literally like the fucking grooming gangs, right? I got in deep with Grok about this, right? And Grok was just like, oh, these reports were like exaggerated. And I'm just like, yeah, where have I heard this shit before? Now this became a crucial motivation, right, for the rise of the National Socialists, right? Like the way that the people in the Rhine were treated by these black occupiers. Where have I heard that shit before? Fucking good super chat there. Big time. Thank you very much, mate. I appreciate that. Right. Enough of that tangent. Let's get on with it.
Called crap. What is it? The nature of the political, something of the political.
The concept of the political.
Dude, this whole section of the stream is killing me right now because I had no idea you were going to go into so much detail before. I thought I was going to show this video first. It's so much better to hear it afterwards and to hear him go, whatever the fucking book is, fucking, we're not. The beacon of knowledge over here.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Back to me. I should have it in front of me, but I've read most of it. It's not a particularly unpleasant or difficult read. It's a political philosophy. It sort of sucks. But
okay, so he doesn't read any political philosophy. I don't read any political philosophy either, but I don't try and trick you. Like
he doesn't understand it. It's just so
midwit.
It's like, oh yes, I actually tweeted. He actually replied to me, as a matter of fact, right? Like, it's so nice. I feel seen. I feel acknowledged, right? And he was posting about this tweet, right? This guy, Chad Crowley, right? He did this like really, really good analysis of Schmitt's work, right? And James is like, I'm not reading all of that. I'm happy for you. Or, you know, he just takes these
Because,
like mean.
people
things,
say that
right?
to James when he writes 2,500 words. This
Yeah.
guy wrote like 500 words and it was succinct. he doesn't understand the difference between amounts of words and the context behind them.
And I'm like, you really should read it. You might learn something, although you are loath to do that these days. And he's like, I did. And he thinks I'm telling him that he should read Schmitt. I'm literally referencing the tweet that he said that he didn't fucking read, right?
I didn't even realize that.
Oh, fucking Jesus fucking
But he's
Christ.
cunty about it, like a midwit. Because I knew that.
I knew that.
You know what we're talking about. You stop acting.
Okay.
What he lays out in that book is this idea called the friend-enemy distinction. He, in fact, says that the essence of politics is the friend-enemy distinction. The meaning, when I say the essence of politics, it means if you were to take the moral realm and say what qualifies the moral or ethical realm and lay out moral and ethical as a kind of a realm of thought, they would have certain guidelines. And that's completely distinct from another realm that might be the physical, which is completely distinct from another realm that might be called the political. So what characterizes the political realm itself? And he says it is the distinction between friend and enemy.
And Schmitt is correct. Like, this is... Lindsay is literally trying to argue
Hold on, just
against
let it. We got seconds left.
gravity.
Let him finish. We got seconds left.
So friends are people that you are in league with, and enemies are people that you are against. Your coalition versus their coalitions. Friends are in coalition together. At the extremes of enmity, that he says is the characterizing feature of the friend-enemy distinction, is that friends and enemies have mutual enmity toward one another. You will die for the people on your side and your friends, and you will kill people in the enemy group, your enemies. And both sides feel this way, and that actually defines the political. Now, he laments that this is how the political is defined. He wishes it were some other way, but he says at the end of the day, that's what the political always is. So it's always a conflict between our team versus their team. In other words, it is a social identity.
Yes.
So he literally reads that he wishes it wasn't this way and that it's not a prescription, it's a description of how he thinks things are. So James Lindsay, hey, dude, I've read his books, I know. It doesn't seem to go into your brain because you're acting like he's making a prescription. And none of them can discuss this topic.
Yeah. And I see this all the time from the Lindsayite orbiters, right? They think that Schmitt is basically saying like that he wants it to be this way, right? That he loves it this way, right? He is just describing the way shit is. And because the fact that he was writing, as I was saying, in fucking Weimar, Germany, when literally the country was tearing itself apart, right? This makes perfect fucking sense. He's not saying, oh man, I love that politics works this way, right? Oh my God.
We did it. We made it through it.
Right. Sorry about that. Okay, so we've got.
Do your thing. What do you want to do? Whatever you want to do right now, man. You're all lubed up right now. Let's go. Let's get this.
I am right. So this is the tweet by Chad Crowley. That Lindsay couldn't be bothered to read, which is a fucking shame.
No, he did read it
because it's really.
He's read all of Chad Crowley's books. He read it. Okay.
It's really good, right? So. Schmitt is one of the most important political thinkers of the 20th century. He is correct, right? The concept of the political 1932 remains a text that cannot be ignored. To reduce it to the bizarre moral platitudes of contemporary binaries and the obsessions of the current thing is asinine. This is correct.
But what James doesn't understand is this is like an intellectual using descriptive words. These are harsh, hurting words to James when this is an intellectual critique of what's going on right now. It's not even meant to be necessarily that disparaging. Do you know what I'm saying? It is bizarre.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Arden Party's like my new personal nightmare unlocked. Newsfist and Aiden Paladin trying to get through a 10-minute chance.
Oh my God. That is a nightmare.
6 hours later, we both like fall asleep on stream. Yeah. The aim of the concept of the political is not to glorify conflict, but to defend the reality of politics against the utopian aspirations that seek to abolish it altogether. Schmitt regarded such utopianism as the common feature of liberalism, socialism, anarchism, pacifism, and global capitalism. All of these doctrines promise a universal order in which differences are dissolved and conflict is banished. Now, this is an incredibly excellent point. If you know anything about the League of Nations that came in after World War I, they were all about like universal disarmament and all this. This was a big thing post World War I, right? They called it the war to end all wars, right? They were like really, really big about this. We will abolish all conflict. Yeah, guess how that fucking worked out.
Right.
To Schmitt, this was not the overcoming of politics, but its denial. A refusal to see that the human condition itself contains the seeds of division. He is absolutely correct. Oh, we got a super chat. The agile walrus.
All right.
Mate, those tusks, bro. Right.
Sounds like he's got a big body. So the dick is big, but it's a big body. You know, it's kind of like a gorilla where it's technically like kind of a big dick, but the body is so big where it looks small. I can tell.
James Lindsay's cognitive skills are as sharp as a mind saturated with Zyklon B. Bro.
The hubris is what makes a midwit a midwit.
Yep. So exactly, right? The division is contained within the human condition itself. Schmitt defines politics in its own terms, irreducible to morality, aesthetics, or economics. Each of these domains has its own logic, but politics is distinguished by the criterion unique unto itself, the distinction between friend and enemy. This distinction is not personal, but collective. It is not the private rivalry of inimici, but the public opposition of hostes, right? So it's not personal enmity. It's like hostility between groups. It is the recognition of us and them, the grouping of men into allies and adversaries at the level of peoples and states. This is such an obvious fucking point, right?
Right there is how you would explain it to like a middle school social studies or history class.
Correct.
Like, I would say that's pre-high school is how you would explain that, right?
Yeah. This is a fucking great tweet. Like, shout out to Chad Crowley. Like, honestly, this is really fucking good, right? The friend-enemy distinction is polemical in nature, for it always carries within it the possibility of violence. Politics is not identical with conflict, but conflict remains the ever-present possibility that marks political life off from other human activities. The distinction is existentially serious because
hold on, real quick, Nissia, welcome to Soft A, fellas. Thank you so much. You know, just a little bit for no reason is going an unreasonably long way for the next 2 weeks. So I really do appreciate it. It helps out a lot. Thank you.
Nice one. Because when violence erupts, it involves the possibility of killing and being killed, right? This is, again, like just completely obvious, right? This is how war works. It is also irreducible to any other distinction. It is not simply a division between good and evil, for each side regards itself as justified while remaining an enemy to the other. Nor is it confined to a single sphere of life, for any deep difference, whether religious, material, cultural, or philosophical, can harden into the political when men come to see it as worth killing and dying for. And especially when the opponent, when it becomes an existential matter, right? When you see another group, right, and they are doing something that is likely to literally deprive you of your way of life. This is when these questions become existential. Schmitt's insistence on this reality is not as a defense of conflict as good in itself. On the contrary, it is a call for realism about the conditions of human existence. Conflict cannot be abolished, and efforts to eliminate it altogether only expand and intensify its reach. Wars to end all wars are the most universal and fanatical wars of all, precisely because they elevate the abolition of politics into an absolute mission. In Schmitt's view, to acknowledge enmity is the best way to contain it. to deny it is to unleash it in its limitless form.
Would you say this is one of the like ultimate right-wing positions of like acknowledging the grim realities of a situation in order to deal with them? No reality could possibly be too grim for the right wing. Now, for the left, they have to muddy the waters, complicated and whatnot. But this is very direct, and it's said in a way with, I would call this masculine care. Like it's said clinically, but it's like this needs to be. This is the crux of the issue, and he seems like he doesn't want this to be an issue anymore. So.
Now, the other thing that this bleeds over into, by the way, is international relations, right? The study of sort of relations between states, okay? And in international relations, there are broadly two schools, right? There is realism and multilateralism, right? Now, realism is broadly speaking what Schmitt is talking about, right? There is no way to ever get to world peace, okay, right? Like, you know, states will always have differing interests. And as a result, right, the realists believe that the most stable form, the most stable configuration of conflict between states is mutual deterrence, right? So my country has a whole shitload of weapons. Your country has a whole shitload of weapons, right? They balance out, and neither country wants to start a war because they're going to get BTFO'd, right? The multilateralists are basically like the soy people, right? They're like, oh, we're going to have the United Nations. We're going to have like world peace. Everything can be solved through the United Nations. Well, no, it fucking can't, right? Look at what's happening with Israel, for example, right? Like, and the multilateralists, they fucking hate the realists. They think they're all like right wing. Oh my God, it's such a dismal view of the world. Like, no. But the realists are always proven right. Okay. Like basically you get like a period of peace. The multilateralists are like, this peace is going to like extend forever. It never extends forever, right? War is a fundamental part of the human condition, right? Should I keep going with this? It's a bit.
I mean, we got 40 minutes until we're at 3 hours.
Okay.
It keeps going, Dave. Okay. We're getting the point. You're
Yeah,
smarter than James Lindsay. This guy is smarter than James Lindsay. Likely, somehow, I'm smarter than James Lindsay. We're understanding the point.
Here's like another one. Okay, no.
Oh yeah, So after actually reading this, I think 95% of the critique must come from people not actually having read it. That's in reference. So scroll down. You're going to love this one. So his issue is that you didn't really read what James said. Now scroll down. I don't think you're going to believe this.
I actually don't think you read it either.
Wait, is this it? Oh, no, I don't think this is it. There was one where somebody was like, okay, but what do we do with people that hate us and want to kill us? And the fucking guy's answer was like, that's not what we're talking about right now. He just completely
How do you compromise with people who want to kill you? The central point is you have to understand that not everyone who doesn't 100% agree in every facet with your specific take on how the world should be wants to kill you. You do see that, right? Well,
that's how a woman answers that fucking question.
Normally,
that answer is circular.
I mean, normally, right? Like, you know, this is the thing, right? Like, states of extremists, right? States of like war, civil conflict are of a fundamentally different character to states of peace, right? And it is always the fucking liberals, right, who, as a society moves from a state of peace to a state of war, stand around whining, oh, can't we just have peace? Can't we just go back to peace? You can't, right? Like, what you just think, right? Like, what everyone like.
Well, that sentiment really exacerbates with extreme convenience in the West, right?
Yeah.
Of course, your life is peaceful, so of course you don't want to have to deal with it and whatnot, and then that leaves you open. You know, that's how the cycle happens.
Yep. Okay.
But I just love that. It's like, anyway, after 3,000 words, so you get to how do you compromise with people that want to kill you? We're just saying that not 100%, not all, hashtag not all. Okay, well, I'm talking about the ones that want to fucking kill me. Can we talk about those ones? It's so annoying. Always obfuscating.
Now, we want to talk a little bit about the weather underground, right? Basically, we believe, well, one of the best ways
just to tie this in with how there's
Yeah.
no moderate left. Like, these people just turned into offshoots of Democrats nowadays. I think one of the guys like went on to teach with Bill Ayers went on
Bill
to teach
Ayers.
at a fucking college.
Yep.
So like the most extreme ones are still considered moderate people or radical or progressive or whatever they want to say. So they're never fully condemned. They're just not really talked about and integrated into positions of power in seemingly moderate left areas of society. That's it.
Right. Okay. Oh, we're getting to the end. Okay. So one of the best ways to understand what is currently happening in the US is to look back at the 60s and the 70s and the New Left. Okay, so in the 60s, you had this huge rise of the New Left with, intellectuals like Herbert Marcuse, for example, Adorno, like all the great Frankfurt School people who made these sort of like basically communist criticisms.
Imagine if I went full
modernity.
Douglas Murray on you and I'm like, I live here. Have you really been here?
Have you ever been there?
Like, in no way, like, I'm supposed to be insecure that you know more about something in my country than me. Like, how much of a caveman would I have to fucking be like that? And he's intellectual.
The New Left did not just encompass the US, right? It actually leaked into the entirety of the Western world, right? So, it was also a force in the UK as well, right? Now, after the rise of the New Left, you got the rise of this group called the SDS, the Students for a Democratic Society, right? You got like all the sort of like hippies like gathered together. We're going to be like communists now. A lot of this had to do with the Vietnam War, right? Like the Vietnam War just drove like an insane amount of like derangement in American society, and not just American society as well.
I think we got a super chat.
We do have a super chat. Hurt Chain for $5 Canadian. Nice.
Fuckable.
Yeah, well, he hurts with that chain between his legs, mate, right?
I think I've actually blown my voice out. Keep going.
Yeah, me too. Obviously, you need to compromise and let them do half to you.
You have to. Oh my fucking God. I'm so sorry. It's somebody, Quistaz chat. I can't even say his name, but he goes, have you ever been to the
Have you ever been to the 60s?
Oh, my dear Lord.
Oh, God.
Who funded the SBS? Okay, that's a good one, too.
So the Vietnam War, right, like didn't just affect America, right? It was also huge in Australia as well. It drove like much of the same stuff in Australia too, okay, right? Everyone was basically like horrified by the Vietnam War. It was the first televised war. Very big mistake, actually, like televising all of that shit, right? Like, no, you can't. And this drove like intense radicalization. The SDS basically became this huge organization overnight. They allied with the Black Panthers, and then in I think it's 63, right? They had this.
Are you saying they were harboring extremism under the Democratic moniker?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely. So they had this convention in Chicago, right? And basically, this sort of radical faction took over the SDS, and these people were called the Weathermen, and they got their name from that Bob Dylan song. You don't need a weatherman to tell you where the wind blows, right?
Sure.
Get sick, get well, right? And the Weathermen, right, basically espoused revolutionary violence, right? So the SDS were more or less like those kind of like incremental socialists, whereas the Weathermen were like the hard. We got to have a revolution, right? At the same time, all of this is going on. There's a bunch of revolutions happening, in a bunch of places in the third world.
I think we got a super chat.
Oh, we got a super chat. The Comate man. Yeah, he sounds quite tribal for $5.
Not that tribal cock, mate.
At the Rhine, the soldiers weren't Algerians. Algerians aren't black, but they still seem to have the we was shtick like Arabs, Romans, and Carthage. Yeah, I know that Algerians aren't black. I believe they brought them in from further south in Africa, and they were, technically Algerians kind of like thing. Good point, Mr. Cometeme.
You want to be able to say it, but you can't, and you're stuck in a loop.
Yeah, I'm stuck in a loop, right? Okay, so where was I going with this, right? So the Weathermen basically like took over the SDS and they allied with the Black Panthers, and they're like, oh my God, like, you know, white people need to step up, you know, to protect their black and brown brothers.
Classic.
Exactly the same
Absolutely
fucking
classic.
shit. Yeah, absolutely classic. Greatest hits, man. They fucking like they never. And you know what's interesting, right? Like one of the things that really drove a lot of this shit is the music of the time. And there's none of that now, right? Like if you think about it, right? Music now is shit, right? Like back then they had Dylan, they had the Stones, they had like all of these like great musicians, like essentially capturing the zeitgeist. Now everyone be listening to podcasts basically because music is just terrible, right? Like, you know, in this iteration, it's just going to be people like listening to podcasters, maybe a little bit of funk, right? Like there isn't going to be any Bob Dylan talking about the revolution. Right?
He's doing his part.
So
where are we going? Are we going to be watching something?
Yeah, well, we are, right? So this clip is basically about what happened to the Weathermen afterwards. To like basically summarize, they started like bombing sort of empty buildings through the 70s. It went on for ages. Now, when this documentary catches up with this Weatherman guy, I believe this is about 30 years later. He's got a bar now, right? This guy has basically become depoliticized. And the reason why I want to play this clip is this basically encompasses the depoliticized man. Okay, so this guy, he was operating in a sort of highly politicized framework in the Schmittian sense, right? He had like friends, enemies. He thought that his way of life was endangered, right? And then 30 years later, he has lapsed back into the depoliticized stage. And look at what he said.
Yeah.
If you think that you have the moral high ground, that's a very dangerous position, and you can do some really dreadful things. You see it with terrorists these days, you know, who think that, well, maybe Allah's on their side or history's on their side or whatever. They can do some things that are just completely unconscionable. They can blow up the World Trade Center, you know, they can just do horrible, horrible things. The Oklahoma City bombing. I'm sure that guy felt that he was on the side of right. And, you know, there may be a handful of people who agreed with him. So that is a dangerous ethical position that we fell into. That was caused, I think, a lot by the Vietnam War. I think that the Vietnam War made us all a little crazy.
So yeah, right. So he's now depoliticized. We got on a super chat, Adam Dole for $10.
Oh, he's really doling out the cock, mate.
Oh, mate, to all comers, right? You just go up to Adam, you're like, can I have a bit of cock? He doesn't care, mate. He slings it out anywhere. Interrupting news fist because I have read Days of Rage by Brian Burroughs. All hail the Nomad War Machine. I really should read Days of Rage. I've heard it's like a great read. If you want to understand, stuff about the Weathermen, I've heard that is basically the go-to book. I just watched this documentary, which, by the way, is very, very simpy for the communists, right? Like, this is a very, very soft touch documentary.
Yeah.
This one, right? They're just like, they just, they gloss over like the worst parts. It's very, very sort of pro.
Wait, who made this documentary?
Two Chosenites. Right.
The sigh before it. Green. It was Green and someone else.
Yeah, Green and somebody else. Right. So if we want to look into the future of what might happen in the US after the killing of Charlie Kirk, right?
There we go.
Looking at the 60s can provide a very, very good template. I actually did an episode of Empire of Lies with Years about this, like I think probably about a year ago now, where I was making the same point. So this guy, he's a good follow. This dude, he's been like writing some like good stuff, right? He's a student of history, and there are three basic sort of outcomes. What happens when a communist subversion campaign or an insurgency overplays its hand and triggers broad popular resistance, which is basically what's happening now with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So, number one, popular revulsion against above-ground leftists celebrating the murder gives the Trump administration political cover to go after Antifa and its shadow funding network hard. Both are smashed. Communist agents of influence in the mainstream media and academia continue to self-discredit because they can't help themselves, right? So like as shit gets worse and worse, they just get like more and more extreme. Relatively few communists are arrested, but their millions of above-ground tools become isolated and demoralized. Propelled by a huge swing in voter registrations that we are already seeing happen, the Democrats get crushed in the 2026 midterms. The long period of fever, madness, and left ascendancy that began with the assassination of JFK by a Soviet agent in 1963 ends, not with a bang, but with a whimper. I would sort of date this current period to BLM, right? It was when it really started, but yes, right? Yep. This is the best case scenario for everybody, including the communists, who don't get thrown out of helicopters or shot down in the streets, right? I can hear some of the audience being like, "Aw," but honestly, right, like civil war sucks ass, right? You really don't like want to get to that point where, you know, you've got to go through like 5 checkpoints when you drive across the city, and like, you know, there's like reprisals and counter reprisals every night. It's not, you don't want your country to become like Lebanon, right?
Right.
If things don't go this way, it will likely be because democratic lawfare prevents the counter-subversion push from being fully effective. An obvious index of this failure would be another high-profile political assassination or attempt against a conservative target after about 4 months out. Okay, so this is the first signal that you can look for, right?
Yeah.
If there is another attempt or successful assassination against a conservative political figure in the next 4 months, you'll know that the Trump administration is not being successful in shutting this shit down. They got to move really, really fast, right?
Yeah.
What happens in the event of that failure, especially if the third public attempt to, for example, kill Trump succeeds, then we get a period of caudismo, right? So caudismo is like a Spanish term for a strongman taking power. So if we take the example of Trump getting gunned down, Vance takes his place, right? And Vance just takes the gloves off, right? And Vance basically like starts channeling Franco.
And basically people would look at Vance differently.
Oh, yeah.
Not even necessarily because of how Vance is behaving, but because they have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vance would be pushed into this position.
Yeah.
By the base, right? They'd be like, well, what are you going to do, right? Like none of us feel safe, right? And
you mean in a democracy, everyone just asks for a fucking leader to lead over them?
A charismatic strongman rides popular anger into power. If this happens, the left better pray that the strongman is an infuriated JD Vance, because any alternative to him is likely to be worse for them. I think Vance could actually go pretty fucking hard, right? Like if circumstance,
I would hope so. He's been groomed into it, hasn't he?
Yeah. The crackdown against the communist network becomes brutal and routinely uses extra-constitutional means, possibly thinly covered by a declared state of emergency. So they literally just start blackbagging and like abducting like the commies, right? They disappear into Guantanamo or somewhere else, and no one gives a shit, right? Like, you know, the lefties bitch and moan and like, but most people...
Well, they'll all become like detransitioners, okay? Once you're out, they're like, I don't really care about him anyway.
Yeah, but most people don't care, right? Because they're sick of the political violence, right? So this gives the government like much wider latitude, right? And this is a temporary state, right? Like this kind of thing won't last forever, obviously, right? But for a period of time, the public will back extrajudicial measures against the communists, right? Especially if the government only targets them. If the government turns around and starts using these powers to target ordinary people or target people on the right, then that can drain away very, very quickly. But if they are smart in how they use this power and they only start like blackbagging and helicopter tossing proper communists, most people won't give a shit, right?
Right.
At the harder end.
Well, no,
of this,
the Lindsayites will, but you said
people. Oh, yeah, but like who fucking, like no one's going to give a shit. right? No one is going to give, because what happens is that the desire for security begins to trump everything.
No one
right?
has a safer neighborhood and they're sad.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Everyone's like, I don't care. Right. Like, and not only that, like this is because like everybody knows, right? The commies, if the positions were reversed, right? The commies wouldn't give a fuck about them, right? The commies wouldn't be like, what about the civil rights of this poor chud, right? That we just like shot in the back of the head. The commies don't fucking care because they don't believe in rights for their opponents. Oh, got a super chat. Slumbering Abyss for 20 Canadian dollars, mate.
Okay.
You know what's slumbering in that abyss, right? His massive cock.
He's slumbering in the abyss.
It's like a Cthulhu up in this bitch, right? You see the head like break the waves, and it's like,
bro, slumbering in the abyss is when you just leave it in and fall asleep.
I think that's called soaking in the abyss, actually.
Okay.
Bring back McCarthyism. Well, McCarthyism wasn't actually very successful, as a matter of fact, right? This would be.
Well, there's no such thing as McCarthyism. It's the left winning the narrative game is all that fucking was. Okay.
Yeah. Like
there was no ism. There was no. I love how that's an ism. Like it was an ideology. The ideology was no commies.
Yeah.
Was there a charter? Was there a fucking anything to it? Was it written down? Did the man write books about it? No.
McCarthyism is just this thing that the left fucking whinges about because they actually like got caught.
Oh, Michael Malice has a really good fucking line about that, where it's like the only time that like there's actually a push against fucking commies, like they control the narrative and would like call it McCarthyism.
Yep. At the harder end of this range of possibilities, right-wing death squads, not exactly formed by the government, but winked at it, go after communist public figures that are out of reach of the law because they've carefully preserved deniability. Many journalists are the top of this target list. It's not likely that the communists can survive this future. The only way it happens is if they have enough popular support to develop a semi-militarized resistance, in effect making certain parts of the country no-go regions for federal agents. So this is the Weimar outcome, right? Is what he's basically talking about, right? So the street muscle develops on both sides, begins actually taking over certain areas, right? Things descend. There are certain areas where the lefties can't go. There are certain areas where the righties can't go, and you get sort of this like balkanization and separation, right? Going by historical precedents, the index of this failure would be a resurgence of banditry by armed groups, initially with overtly political goals, but decaying into general
I think we got a super chat.
Oh, super chat. Damask again for $5. You guys work. You guys work well together. I'm fairly new, so I don't know how often this happens, but I hope you all stream together more often. Every week, mate.
Damask in the chat did have a really good time, and that makes me feel really good. I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. It's every week.
I appreciate that you had a good time. That's my general temperament as a person. This is why I'm not a good leader. I'm just like, I like that you like that. That's as far as I get.
No, I like that you like it. It's nice to get like feedback every Friday. Damask, come along, right? Like it's
no matter where Mr. Fist is in the world, he makes sure to tune in.
Oh, absolutely. So if this happens, right, we would then land at low-grade civil war. Bosnia or the Irish Troubles. Anybody wishing for this has no idea how bloody, ugly, and brutal it would probably be. And I agree with this, right? Like I'm not one of those people who wants any country to become like fucking Lebanon, right? And this is one of the reasons why you have got to smack the left sharply over the knuckles, because this shit is beginning to seriously get out of fucking hand, right? And this is the point. The reason why everyone is having this discussion about Schmitt is because shit has gotten to this stage, right? We have broken out of the period of peace, of political peace, where no one really cares. And we're just like, my liberalism, my capitalism, right? Lines are being formed. You don't want that, right? That's not how you get a cohesive society. Especially if the left succeeds at what it will with absolute certainty try to do, which is to racialize the conflict. Yeah, they absolutely will, right?
What?
So you have like,
Well,
You know.
what precedent do you have to have that opinion?
Oh, well, I don't know. It's just a hunch, mate. Just a hunch, right? I don't think that there is any realistic scenario in which the communists win any of these confrontations, not in the US, not in the 21st century. The question is how much blood and agony the rest of us will go through before they are finally defeated. Great tweet. Really, really,
I mean,
thank you.
Very descriptive. I'm glad we have it read and immortalized and recorded. My issue is if we know this, right? How do they not know it in government? Now, they do. The issue is that the federal agencies are infiltrated with communists fucking everywhere. I have a video of them in a fucking secret recording, have all their names listed. No one cares. There would need to be an internal war in the government.
There needs to be a purge is what it is, right?
Right.
And the US government has already, and the military have already undergone 2 left-wing purges, right? So there was the COVID vaccine purge, right? And then after that, there was the racism purge, right? These were purges, right? These were ideological purges. Now, I believe that in the military, a lot of these purges have already been reversed by people like Hegseth. They've hired back a lot of the people that got fired under the vaccine mandates, right? So those purges have basically been reversed, right? And as anyone who's studied like coup d'etat knows, the military is the most important thing that you have to gain control over, right? And this is one of the reasons why the communists can't win, at least at the moment, because there is no fucking way the military is going to obey the commies. There's just no fucking way, right? Like, if they will obey Trump, right, or Vance, right? If Trump or Vance is like, right, that's it, we got to like kill these motherfuckers, they will do it, right? And it looks like Trump is about to start going after Antifa in a very serious way, and about fucking time, quite frankly. Check this out.
That's the other thing. They have signs, and they're all professionally made. Real protesters make them in their basement, and they're all the same.
So who's behind it? Do you have a gut feeling?
You hear Soros. I don't know. We're going to find out if he's behind it. But it's incitement to riot. That's a criminal act, and people are dying because of it. So it's really, it's death.
How?
So we're gonna find out, and it should have been done a long time ago.
Yep.
Yes.
It's incitement to riot. I was the first one that I heard say that because I was researching this going, where's the answer? Where's the answer? And I had to look it up, and I'm like, there has to be something we can do. And it's incitement to riot. That's what they used to charge them with. This is why I'm saying there's a position where we need to overhaul the system, okay? In certain ways, sure. I am of the mind that let's see how it goes when we fucking just the laws on the books and enforce those laws already. Until we do that, it's hard for me to advocate for a different position, would be the epistemology I come from in terms of how things should be handled systematically.
And this is the final tab that I've gotten. So I guess
terrific. My voice is shot from screaming fascist and Nazi at the top of my lungs. I got way too excited, way too angry.
3 hours really is quite taxing. Okay, so this is from a guy, Danny Wolf. Also a good follow, right? And he's talking about his experiences when he infiltrated Antifa back in 2017, 2018.
Those are good years, 2017, 2018. Good Antifa years.
And I thought this was like really interesting, so I wanted to talk about this, right? After 6 months, I was at the upper limits of my ability to hold my tongue and blend in while listening to them spew the most retarded bullshit imaginable. Oh my God, I bet. Can you imagine someone like me, like trying to fight, like, can I talk to you about communism? I'll be like, I bet you've never fucking read anything, right? Like,
I don't know. You are good faith with your interlocutors, but this would really make you into iron. You would be made of steel if you were able to fucking do this. You would have to really prepare.
Even someone who's well read in Marx would laugh at what the average anti-fascist believes about Marxism and left-wing philosophy. I'm sure that's fucking true.
Yeah.
Right. Because I actually have had some great chats with some like proper communists who know their shit.
Same.
Right. There was a dude that I used to like talk with a lot down Speaker's Corner, And he really knew his shit.
Have you ever had this with American communists or only European communists?
I haven't really met many American communists, to be honest.
I've only had good conversations in terms of communists and socialists with Europeans. I have a fucking maybe a 3-hour conversation recorded with I think a Portuguese socialist from maybe like 2019 somewhere, and super civil the entire time. So I respect the European communists and socialists way more than I do the Americans are insufferable. They don't know anything.
Yeah, it was great, man. We'd get coffee and talk about Bukharin and Gramsci, and it was all very, very civilized. And and because I'm such a retarded autist about communist theory, right? You can actually have a conversation with these people, and then you run into these like other fucking retards who just, communism is like when I get free stuff, and blah, blah, blah. Just like, just shut the fuck up, right? The modern American version of the movement is a shaky alliance between left-wing anarchists and communists.
Yes.
Hence the black and red colors in their symbolism. They've agreed to set aside their differences and sort things out after they've overthrown the government.
Yes.
I'm sure that's going to fucking work. You're about to get a free helicopter. You're getting called a slur, then you're getting a free helicopter ride.
They're always the first to go.
Yep. Which is their primary mission. Not anyone who thinks it's something more noble like policy reform. No, it's about seizing power, plain and simple. Of course it is, right? Because at heart, these people are just fucking criminals, right? Now, this is the really interesting thing. One thing I noticed was that each Antifa organization had an unspoken hierarchy. Black militants would always be in a public-facing leadership position where they could scream through a bullhorn and agitate the rank and file into a frenzy. The organizers were almost always white women and gays. The trans element was usually relegated to being mere foot soldiers, and any straight white guys pretending to be allies in order to fuck the art hose were at the very bottom.
Jesus Christ, this guy, the way that he says this stuff, I fucking trust him unbelievably.
Totally.
A really good, solid dude had to bite his tongue for 6 months. Is what it sounded like.
Now this makes sense, right? Because the Troons are basically crazy, right? And because they're crazy and they're sort of pitiful, like of course they'll be like foot soldiers. The blacks don't really have the organizational ability, right? So you get the women and the gays, right? And then you get the
gays are very good at organizing, okay?
You get the straight white guys, right? Like trying to fuck the art hose, like basically at the bottom. Being a white guy at their meetings and events felt like how I'd imagine it would feel to be a white guy at a Black Panthers meeting. It's rarely said aloud, but there's a not so subtle tension, an underlying menace that permeates every interaction with other members, comrades. You're not welcome, you are tolerated, but only if you're useful. Only if you show twice as much enthusiasm, only if you never speak except to affirm someone else.
We should really do a video on Lisa Fithian. I would love to see what you have. Are you familiar with her at all?
I'm not.
Yeah, so I've used clips of her. She in October of 2019 said we need to start a crisis and we need to be in control of it. And then COVID happened fucking 5 months later. Okay. She has a really pivotal mass. She was a national team member for Extinction Rebellion. So she is like in the upper echelons of teaching people how to quote unquote organize. And so
I'm familiar. Yeah. I'm familiar with Extinction Rebellion. Yeah, they're all over the UK. The UK is basically lousy with those motherfuckers. Like,
so what's the guy's name in charge of it?
Robert.
Yeah.
I want to say Robert Howman.
I have the man that I have a video of him being trained to do that.
Really?
Yes, I can connect Occupy Wall Street from 2011 directly to Extinction Rebellion, but we'll talk about that offline. So we'll plan something for that to go a little deeper.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. So your only purpose is to be a whipping post, to nod along, smile like a jackass, and clap the loudest every time a minority says the dumbest shit you've ever heard.
Dude, I fucking love how this guy talks.
And to carry heavy shit. The women and the gays will tell you to carry things anytime something weighs more than 5 ounces. They don't ask. They just point to whatever needs to be moved and expect you to volunteer yourself. They do it with a satisfied sneer and a glare of contempt. I can just fucking imagine.
Yes,
Like
the concrete imagery with how he's explaining this right now. Not an ounce of fat on this thing.
Yep. The victim hierarchy, this victim hierarchy, women, LGBTs, blacks, Latinos, Muslims, Jews, etc., rules every thought they have. Everything must be dissected, deconstructed, and categorized according to the oppressor-oppressed dynamic. This is the lens through which they perceive the world. Nothing exists to them free of its guilt or innocence. A stone isn't just a stone. It's an object attached to a label created by the language of the patriarchy.
Wow.
And for that sin, it must be redeemed, renamed, baptized into the religion of decolonization, and given a new name that doesn't vibrate the vocal cords in the same way as words invented by evil white men.
Shit, dude. He really went through it there, huh?
Yeah. There's more. Do I keep going? This is the level of their neurosis, and it is often a side effect of a movement that attracts the mentally unstable, the outcasts, people with schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, DID, etc. Failed artists who believe that the state should be funding their endless sabbatical, junkies with HIV and short-term memory loss who want to abolish the police so they can do heroin in the street without getting arrested, pedophiles who want anarchy so there won't be any... Oh, yeah, super chat. Big time. $2.
Just 2 in it.
The only side is our own.
And
Roman
then
salute.
he wants to know if anyone has seen his friend Kyle. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Pedophiles who want anarchy so there won't be any cops to check their hard drives. Felons who want to get rid of all the laws they've been caught breaking, including the one they break every time they train with their comrades at a range using a gun they're not legally allowed to own. And at the top, an inner circle of women with septum rings who do all the busy work. They send the emails, coordinate with allies, hold fundraisers. Their hatred of capitalism does not extend to actual capital, and communicate with their partners at organizations like the DSA, United Auto Workers, etc., who pretend not to know them when asked.
Yep.
You see, Antifa is like a mercenary outfit. Any leftist organization can invite them to an event while maintaining plausible deniability.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is funny. The black militants are often black nationalists who see the white liberals in Antifa as useful idiots to be raped and murdered once the revolution kicks off.
That is literally, so if you are a hard R feller, that's literally what Daniel Carver says.
Yeah, right.
Verbatim what the Grand Dragon KKK fucking leader says it word for word what this guy just said. That's hilarious. I did not see that coming.
They don't say that overtly, but it's obvious in their demeanor how they interact with their white comrades. They're often members of fringe religious organizations like the Black Hebrew Israelites, Nation of Islam, or fringe politics like the Moorish Sovereign Citizens. I never heard of that. The dynamics are complicated, as these black militant groups aren't Marxists, but they're happy to use Marxists as tools against other whites. Yeah, I bet they fucking are.
Right.
But I mean, whites be so stupid sometimes, my God.
Well, hold on. I do take issue with that because Gavin McInnes has used to run into an issue where why do whites unalive themselves so often? And it's like, well, is it organic or has there been a generational force, group of people to set up circumstances in a certain way where language is positioned in a certain way? For example, people of color, for example, we can't say certain words. So it's they've been victimized into this. This isn't a normal progression of a person's life to become this subservient and feeling nothing on the inside and feeling hollow. That's an act of demoralization. So I actually do take issue with that.
Yep. No, that's a very, very good point. The dynamics are complicated as these black militant groups, it's not so much an alliance as it is a coup. They'll smile and nod as someone quotes Lenin or Mao, but they only care about how Leninism and Maoism can help them dismantle white communities and the government. decolonization is the common cause that unites them. Now, I saw this as well at university, right? Like you can see it in their attitude, right? They just want to steal everything from the whites, right? And that's the whole bit.
Steal reparations. I don't like how you're talking about this right now.
They're just biding their time, right? Until they can basically like steal everything you own, rape and kill you, right? These people are your neighbors. They're the cashier who knows what type of smokes you like. They're the sons and daughters of your coworkers. They're going to school with your kids and they hate you. In fact, they spend a good portion of their day fantasizing about killing you.
Yes.
So it's important to know who they are. And the best way to do that is to make a sock account and join your local leftist activist groups. They're not hard to find. They've been recruiting openly. And the sooner you know which people in your town, your neighborhood, and your kids' school are terrorists, the sooner you can put distance between you and them, screenshot their calls to violence, and report them all to the FBI.
This is the issue. This is the issue that we're running into now, is that just like with a crazy fucking girlfriend, you go, I'll get away from her, get away from her. It is no longer enough to simply get away from them.
Yep.
Right? But everything he's doing and saying, I completely support. But you understand the point that I'm making, right?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. Like
out of survival, like individually, survivalistically, absolutely. But the problem is it keeps swelling because it's like I get that person away from me, get that person, and then they all collectivize together.
Well, it's like the crazy ex who just keeps pursuing you, right? And she doesn't really want to get back together, or like maybe she does after she's like had a bottle of wine and it's like 3 a.m., right? But like fundamentally, she just wants you to suffer because you rejected her, right? And like there's just sort of like incredible, like just psycho hatred. I actually got a ton of likes on this tweet where I was basically, the left is just like a psycho girlfriend.
Yes.
Because they are, right? They're just like, you ask them what they want, they don't really know. Their goals are like, completely vague and like, because
people intuitively, they liked it because they just intuitively understand it.
Yep. And they just want to own you and destroy you and suck out your soul. But they'll never admit that because it sounds like bad, except I guess these people totally will. So that's it. That's 3 hours, man. Fuck me, my voice.
Wow.
My voice.
Well, I sure carried us the last hour and a half there, so you're welcome, guys, okay?
couldn't have done it without you, mate.
Dude, you were on a roll. I'm like, fuck, let him cook. You gotta know when to let a man cook. You gotta know when to step aside and go, my boy's cooking right now. No egos. Let the man cook.
Yeah.
All right. Do an outro or something. I don't know how to do that.
I'll do it. Right. So you've been listening to Artie and Fist. Thank you so much, everyone who super chatted. Appreciate it. Shout out to Big Time, Hurt Chain, Quizats, Chatterack. Who else? The Coma Tamanin.
You need to try it every time. You can't just bypass it.
Total Blackout Painting, Soul on the Lich, Garlic Cat, the Chud King, Agile Walrus, Danny Doombringer, Damask, good to see you, mate. Ivan the Horrible, good to see you, man. User has been banned for naughty words. Robert Verlinden 007, PC Bullet Sponge. John Q, Public, Lack of Understanding. Oh God, just like look at all these incredible like people like fucking their way through the chat. Slumbering Abyss. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. We'll be back next Friday night. I've got no idea what we're doing. If you want to listen to some other stuff of my content that's a bit like this, I would recommend Empire of Lies. The show that I do with Use the Unit. You can find all of my links at newsfist.net. My news show is basically on hiatus because I'm sort of semi on vacation at the moment. But thank you so much for coming. We'll be back. You got any last words there, Artie?
I love the fellas. I got the best fellas. The feedback tonight is very motivating. And as I always say, gratitude is not stated, it is expressed. So the more that you show appreciation, the more I expand the infrastructure and create something larger that people can go to and act like it's 1999 again. I'm just trying to go back to the 90s. That's all I'm trying to do.
Yeah, bros. Support the channel. We'll expand it out. I guess I'm gonna have to do a Lindsay reaction video now. There's so many. Yeah, okay. I'll fuck it. I'll do that. That'll be fun. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Good night.
Got the best fellas. Bye.
Bye.